Hi, everybody. How's it going?
What's going on? Happy New Year.
We actually got
1
Graham
minute
here.
late.
Well, 1 minute late.
It's because the backdrop fell.
Yeah, we had to fix it.
You know what? You're growing as a human being, Melissa.
Why?
I assumed you were going to go, well, Houston had to go to the kitchen to get ice, so, and
That's
then
why.
not let it be the background. And then I would have gone, no, it's because the Arsenal flag fell down. And then you would have been like, no, it didn't. I don't know what you're talking about, Sam.
Somebody just posted, the show has been live for 2 minutes and not one meme yet from Christian or Taylor. Which I got to go in. Those I don't see.
I liked your appearances record.
That's funny.
Tied with Mel behind me. That was pretty great.
Good, yeah.
Pretty great.
And there's been shows that I've done without you two here.
Oh, that's Brody that said that.
Yeah.
Brody,
a couple.
who I created an own code just for him at the Drip Shack.
Nice.
It wouldn't let me type in the full Better Than Brody, so it's just BTB 13.
Very good.
13% off.
There we go.
Not 12, not 10. I went for the oddest number I could find.
13% off.
Yep.
Nice.
You're allowed to do up to 15. And so I was like, I'm going to do 13.
11 would have been funny, too.
Because he's go to 11.
What?
Oh, my God.
The show goes to 11.
Oh.
Your mom goes to 11.
Taylor, Christian, have fun with that.
Your mom goes to 12.
Just
How's the numbing spray working?
boy, we got some energy in this room tonight, don't we?
Man, it's not great so far.
I'm just looking. Taylor commented Tic Tac Willie on my public domain thing.
Oh,
Did
yeah.
you notice that? Steamboat Willie, Mickey Mouse, or at least the mixed Steamboat Willie version of Mickey Mouse, is in public domain.
Mm-hmm.
Disney doesn't own it anymore?
Yep, public domain.
Public domain
Wow.
now. Just the Steamboat Willie iteration.
Yeah, not any other
So you
iteration.
can't add color to him.
Right.
Don't go adding color to Steamboat Willie.
Can you add color, but like blue?
Well, if it looks too much like their current Mickey Mouse, then
They'll
you
have
might
an
find
issue.
some trouble. I spent 20 minutes actually reading what you can and cannot do before putting the image together and posting it, because I didn't want that Disney heat. And their lawyers are just fishing for anybody that fucks up on the public domain thing.
Oh, of course they are.
But isn't it 5 points of differentiation or something? Is the industry standard?
I don't know.
I made sure we were fine.
All right. We ready to do a show, kids?
Oh,
Yeah.
Is that what we're here for? Sorry.
Yeah.
My fault. I forgot.
Fake pen. Pen.
Are you ready? It's Tuesday. It feels really weird. I can't do anything on a Tuesday.
This is Lindsay Williams, and you're listening to the Drunkard United show. Bless your little cotton socks.
I can tell you some of these cotton socks that need to be blessed.
Yeah, no
Old
shit.
producer Mel over here. Definitely not on Tuesday. No, can't produce a show on Tuesday.
Wapner's on Tuesday.
Only Mondays. Definitely Mondays. I produce the show. Excellent cold reader. Everybody says so. I'm the best. I can read anything. I'm the best cold reader. Let's start the show.
Born in the land of Bowie, Maryland. Bred to be a fan of fucking Everton. Punch you in the eye and drink your rye. Sam Huston.
Sam Huston?
Arsenal fans have another Sam. AKA the fucking Gooner Graham. Stump of a lord. Look straight in shorts. Sam Graham, hey.
Sam Graham.
Fucking United! Fucking United!
Hello and welcome to the DU Football Show, a completely biased recap of the English Premier League installed by two Calvin American schmucks. I'm your host, Sam Huston, and across the way from me, using Baby Shark to motivate his children. Mr. Samuel Graham, how we doing, buddy?
Not bad. Seems like a New Year, same shit, huh?
Yeah, well, you know.
With both of you, I can't get a word in the intro edgewise, and you're fucking hitting the wrong buttons.
Well, and the old ones and twos.
But she's really on the 3s and 4s.
Definitely not on a Tuesday.
Definitely not on a Tuesday.
6s and 7s behind the fucking board there. Producer Mel, how are we doing? Are we going to be all right?
I figured out what my problem is.
Okay.
Other than Tuesday?
I'm sober.
Oh, okay.
There we go. It's that old January 2nd withdrawal after the last
I'm
3 or 4 days. Yeah, a little jittery.
What's the joke? My right hand is.
Yes! I knew something was going to fall.
Son of a bitch. Forget it. I'm done. Now
We're recording at the DU Public House just outside the nation's capital. You can check us out wherever you get your podcasts. And, of course, streaming typically on mostly Monday nights. But today it's a Tuesday. Definitely a Tuesday.
And 2 weeks from now will be Tuesday again also, won't it?
Yeah.
'Cause aren't y'all in like Iowa or something?
No, it's going to be a Monday. We'll be back.
You'll be back in time? Okay.
We'll be back in time. And it's Idaho, not Iowa.
Whatever.
Show title.
Listen to a lot of Slipknot.
You can stream us normally on Monday nights, but of course tonight on a Tuesday night. Should you want to chat with us, there is many ways that you can. Mr. Graham, tell the good people how they can get in touch.
Absolutely. Y'all didn't sign up to enough Patreon, so we couldn't pay Mel time and a half for Monday since it was a national holiday. Excuse me. It's at DU Football Show on all the social medias and dufootballshow@gmail.com to get in touch via email and to give us $5 a month. It is patreon.com/DU Football Show.
Love it.
And you get all of our extra content, which is a lot, actually. We work hard for you all.
So we're working on the lighting, and we're putting like little wax paper filters or everything. And for anybody who didn't notice, that was a wax paper just fell from the ceiling as we were talking.
That was the
I
one
thought it was a sign from God.
Did with like medical tape. I found the other rubber band I brought. If you want
I'm
to
not
fix
gonna
it.
be fixing
Now your head went from I cut the shine out to just.
I have a fucking show to do live right now. I can't fix that problem. Sam and myself both work in the wine and spirit industry and both have a deep, passionate love for all things distilled spirits. If I didn't laugh, I'd fucking cry and I'd walk into traffic right now, people. Sincerely, I'd walk into fucking traffic right now. And so is the red-blooded Americans we are. Sam and myself vow to have a drink in our hand throughout this show and every single show. Mr. Graham, the list continues. Drinking an old classic, but an interesting version of it.
Yes, absolutely. We are on number 17 of Whiskey Advocate's Top 20 of 2023. This is the Crown Royal Noble Collection Barley Edition. 90 proof and should run you right around $80. The panel rating gave it a 93. And your blurb comes from Shane English. She's now done 3 out of the first 4 blurbs, actually. So picking up the heavy lifting for Whiskey Advocate as well. He writes, the final limited edition release in Crown's Noble Collection kicks off with a sweet herbal nose, leading with mint, tarragon, and sweet anisette cookies, all smothered in grape jelly and sweetened oatmeal. The palate reveals more spice and shows chai, lemon zest, black tea, and raspberries atop a dry woodiness with plenty of pepper and cinnamon. While the spice is the star of the show for this one, it's balanced beautifully by sweet dessert like chocolate, orange, and glazed fruit tart.
Okay.
So I definitely get the little bit of black tea and chai. That makes sense over the mid palate. Mint up front on the nose. Yeah, sounds about right. I don't know about the grape jelly. I don't know necessarily. There is a tinge of sweetness, excuse me, in this one. This is the, the barley edition, but it's a high barley content rye still. So that peppery, that kind of spicy pepperiness is still there at the end. I would like it to be higher proof, though, honestly. I kind of lose some of that pepper. It just doesn't have enough of a finish for me.
Ironically, I felt like it needed a cube. I felt like it opened up a lot more with a cube than it did when we had it neat while we were doing sound check.
Flavor-wise, yeah, but I just the finish just tails off. It's very short finish for me.
Oh, it's exactly what I expect from Crown. Crown has always just been uber smooth whiskey, even sometimes to its own fault, you know. But I'm glad to see that this is on the list. It's something different, that's for damn sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's super approachable. It's good. Don't get me wrong. I just want it to last longer.
Price in the bottle.
What she said.
Yeah. Price on the bottle too also helps quite a bit.
Yeah.
You know, it's not terribly expensive.
Actually, under $100, which we can't say for most of this list.
And I got it Lax in Beltsville, so that was even less.
Nice.
So I got it under SRP.
Yeah,
it was 70 or 75 is what it ended up
awesome.
costing me.
Great.
No, you know them. They'll normally buy a ton of Crown in huge quantity, so a couple of cases of this drops the price down.
Oh yeah,
because they're buying a crap ton of Apple and regular Crown.
Absolutely,
and
yeah, for sure.
Very good. Yeah, but all in all, I'm happy. I'm glad to see that I haven't had a chance to have Crown has been on the list before with a couple of different iterations, and I haven't had a chance to have any of them. So this is the first one I've had, and
yeah, it's delicious.
Yeah, I'm happy with it. It's really good. So what else should we do, Mr. Graham?
Always remember to drink responsibly and make sure you don't treat your wife like your dog.
I ain't treating my wife like a goddamn thing. More like wife treating her husband that way, okay? That's what it's more like, all right?
I love poking the bear.
You know what? I got to tell you, sometimes it's just, we just open the show with a good performance. It doesn't even necessarily matter if there was any real impending storyline. And there were a couple that were worth noting. And one from start to finish was an absolute perfect match. And the other took a little while to get going, but when it did, whew, goals were flying. Wolverhampton 3, Everton 0, Liverpool 2, Newcastle 2. Utter and complete domination from the Wolves. Oh, yeah, and good news, Neto's back as well.
Yeah, absolutely. The Everton were a bit unlucky, though, on the first goal. Bit of a goalmouth scramble. Jordan Pickford made a pretty good save. Yeah. On the initial shot, but he left himself with a ton to do because he didn't really parry it away from the goal.
Right.
Kind of started going down the goal line. He ended up saving that again, kind of in addition to Tarkovsky. I'm not really sure who hit it and cleared it off the line over in the corner. But then, of course, it fell to Kilman, who bundled it over the line. His last Premier League goal was, I think, 2 years ago or something against Everton. Yeah,
he's only
he just
two.
Loves scoring against Everton.
Apparently likes to score on Everton.
We should make mention, though, if anybody was kind of confused by what they were doing, Mario Lemina, there's nothing wrong with him, but two of the goals they celebrated with Mario Lemina's jersey. He is in France attending to family matters because his father passed away. He had been in the hospital for a couple of months and ultimately succumbed to whatever illness or injury that he had. Which is obviously quite sad, and we're obviously send our condolences to the Lemina family. But he was in France tending to that, and why two of those goals were dedicated to him and his family.
Of course, and Wang with a great goal for the second goal. Yeah, and both their center backs scored because also Dawson got in on the action as well.
Yeah, Dawson got in there, but Cunha added. Cunha added the second was a wonderful run and cross by Hwang. Cunha was the one that scored the goal. Hwang provided the assist.
Cunha, that's right. I'm sorry.
Hwang did put the ball in the back of the net, that Korean guy, but got called back. Yeah. A very similar move, actually. And I think it was Cunha that provided that assist.
And then Neto put in one as well, and that got called off because of offsides also. I mean, this game could have been 5 or 6-0.
Absolutely.
Easily.
Now, I think Pedro Neto coming back is going to be the biggest thing. Positive for Wolves, and he's going to have a lot to do straight away.
Yeah,
because the Asian Cup starts,
Wang's gone,
as well as the African Cup of Nations. Now, I don't know where Totti's from. Do you?
I do not.
The left back.
I do not.
I have to find that out actually, but Hwang is definitely going playing for South Korea, obviously. With Son will be there as well. Mo Salah at the African Cup of Nations with Egypt. Thomas Partey's gone from Arsenal with Ghana. There's a fair few that are out of the Premier League.
For Everton, if Decore and Idrissa Gueye are healthy, which currently they are not, they'll be with Senegal and Mali, respectively.
Yeah. So a lot of things could change over this next month. Now, the good part for the Premier League is there's only 2 Premier League fixtures this month. So even if you miss them, you're only missing them for 2 games.
Well, and not only is there just 2 fixtures, it's also the this weekend obviously is the FA Cup. The next weekend, 5 fixtures go off. The next weekend, the other 5 fixtures go off. So every team essentially gets, quote, 10 days off is kind of the idea.
Exactly. But the biggest thing, and that's if that one of their teams makes it to the final, because both of these are month-long tournaments, obviously. So we'll see how everybody copes, but it's not like the days of old. I used to have trepidation about African players because they didn't have this quote-unquote winter break in the Premier League. So you were playing a full schedule, and you were just without your best players. And now the Asian Cup has come into the frame again as well, and there are many more Asian players in the Premier League than there used to be. Yeah. Actually, fun, weird fact, because a lot of the Middle East is coupled in with Asia as a confederation. And Wimbledon, AFC Wimbledon, League Two, AFC Wimbledon, has 2 players, one that plays for Iraq and one that plays for, I believe it was Lebanon. Might have that wrong, but it's another Middle Eastern country. Had call-ups for the Asian Cup.
Oh, geez.
They're one of the only League Two sides that have international players going to one of these major tournaments, which is pretty cool. And I heard today from when I found that fact out that apparently a lot of the supporters, rather than like I would do with a lot of African Arsenal players back in the day, is complain about them leaving. Obviously, apparently, a lot of the Wimbledon supporters are actually just quite happy for them, which is very cool.
Heck yeah! How many times does a League Two side have international call-ups?
Well, exactly, and that's so for. I mean, right? It's hashtag first world problems. Is I'm annoyed that they're going to represent their country and weakening my football club during a busy time of year,
right? Versus
AFC Wimbledon, who's it's just like that's pretty fucking cool, isn't it?
Yeah.
So. Good on them. Well done.
Got to say, Everton and Dyche got everything wrong in this match. They went with the 3-back system again, which worked brilliantly against Burnley, and they got run buckshot all over the place. Tarkovsky is he's a stalwart back there.
Yeah.
Wang had a day with him.
Oh, yeah.
He could not hold him back.
You shouldn't trial a new system or use a system that you're not fully comfortable with against Wolves at the Molineux.
Yeah. I think
they are the best version of themselves at home,
right?
By far.
Oh, yeah.
And they have players that can hurt you. And to do something that you're not super comfortable with all the time is... I think that might be a little bit of a tactical misstep.
I would agree it was a misstep. I think the reason why he did it was because they're just really light on players right now, particularly in the middle of the field, with both Decore and Drissa Gay out.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair.
And they just felt like that was the best lineup he could put out there, So they just got it terribly wrong. And for Everton now, you kind of look at this and go, all right, you're now only 1 point safe, so all the great work you did at the start of December finishes with 4 straight losses if you want to include the League Cup. So not a good end of the year for them, despite the fact that it seemed like they were really rolling there for a while.
Right.
Now, here's the thing that's worth mentioning. Wolves are now just outside the top 10. Let's imagine if VAR hadn't fucked them, 5 times this season.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it was 7 points that Gary O'Neill reckons they would be able to have.
Yeah.
So they'd be well up there, actually, probably above Brighton.
And I think what it really comes down to is that Gary O'Neill knows exactly the pieces he has and is working the system perfectly.
Yep.
Now, we did see you lose somebody like Sa, it's a huge drop off to the backup.
Oh, yeah.
Now they've been able to do all right without Neto, right? They figured it out, but I think that's because of that partnership of Wang and Cunha up top has really started to blossom.
Well, but you also, besides that, too, you look at Cunha gets through a lot of work. I mean, you're absolutely right about that. He gets through a shit ton of work.
Mm-hmm.
But you look at, it always is the goalkeeper is the most isolated position on the field. When a goalkeeper fucks up, it looks far, far worse than when somebody else on the field fucks up.
Yeah, of course.
Because it's just so glaring because they're the only player that can do what they do.
Yeah.
So it's no real surprise. and you can cover up with a system change or a personnel change. You can cover up a mistake on the field or a player that's not actually playing up to snuff.
Yeah, exactly it.
You can't do that in a goalkeeping position. You're just there. If the right side ain't working, we can go down the left. We could try to ticky-taka through the middle. We could try a long ball and not just bypass you.
Right.
So no one even know you're playing like shit. You know what I mean?
Oh, let me go ahead and take care of this because we're going to transition flawlessly. Because speaking of good backup goalkeepers, Martin Dubravka had himself a motherfucking day and still gave up 4 fucking goals.
Yeah, he was the best player on the pitch.
13 saves, including a penalty. Jesus.
It's the old Tim Howard job, we like to call it. If you remember the Belgian game from the World Cup that the U.S. played.
By the way, I love that Malort is just normal for him now.
It's not normal.
Still not.
Keep chuckling. You're going to have to do a shot in a minute.
You know what we should do? Now that we have 3 variations of Malort, we have standard, we have barrel-aged, and we have pumpkin, I think we should roulette it.
Oh, I was going to let you pick your own
Surprise.
poison.
Yeah,
That I
surprise.
was definitely going to let you do.
I like that.
Definitely Malort flights are a thing. By the way, we got Stephen Walsh checking in.
Oh,
Hey,
fantastic.
what's up, brother?
The trivia master himself.
Absolutely. Check out Stephen Walsh Trivia. Excellent company. Supported the show for ages.
Yep.
And we supported his trivia as well. So
He did have a question for the last segment, if you don't
Sure,
mind.
please, go ahead.
Quote, a lot of the Middle East is coupled with Asia. Age-old question. Should Asia include the Middle East, or should Everton include the League Cup? Had to get that one in.
fantastic.
I believe
funny.
he's a Man U supporter. We got
No. He's Arsenal.
Arsenal?
Yeah, he's Arsenal.
Got further than fucking Arsenal.
Fuck off, man.
In fact, at least it took penalties to lose to the team that you lost to just regularly.
Oh, congratulations.
Took us missing a penalty to lose. Okay?
Nice. Congratulations. So you still shot yourself in the foot.
And speaking of missing penalties, Mr. Mo Salah has not been doing well on penalties lately, has he?
So 7 out of his last 37 prior to that take. So now it is then he made the second. So 30 out of 38 and then 31 out of 39 now. Yeah. That's pretty poor
It's
for
not
a
good.
top-level striker.
No,
to be honest.
Not for one of the best goal scorers in the history of the league.
Now, the other thing is he doesn't have the best hair at the best of times.
Right.
When it's absolutely pissing down with rain,
Ooh, looks tough.
he looked a little rough there, didn't he?
Looked very tough, didn't it?
That got pointed out a few times. I did like the meme someone shared of Darwin Nunez, and they just used like the editing tool on the iPhone and just drew in Mo Salah hair, and it said the Mo Salah that they're gonna send to Egypt for the for AFCON.
I was gonna say you should refer to him by his known alias, Captain Chaos.
Captain Chaos, you're absolutely right. But no, so Mo Salah, yeah, it was a really weird game, man. The beginning and the whole first half, Liverpool had chances. But they were super wasteful
And Dubravka
in those chances.
standing on his head.
Yeah, but there wasn't even that much to do in the first half.
Yeah.
There wasn't even that much to do.
Well, he did stop one one-on-one with
one
Nunez.
or two saves. Yeah. But there wasn't that much to do in the first half. He saved the penalty, which was huge, and then the one-on-one chance. Other than that, they didn't really threaten too much.
Right.
They did put the ball in the back of the net. That got VAR'd. And then Dan Byrne put the ball in the back of the net. That got VAR'd. So we go into halftime at 0-0
It
with
also got real physical, really quick.
it got
in
very
the first
chippy.
half. Very
It's
chippy.
very chippy. And I think that affected both players. I mean, there was some fairly sloppy football. Liverpool's midfield, while all 3 players are quite good, looks kind of disjointed and not balanced. Szoboszlai is kind of all over the place for me. He does a lot of good things, but they don't look like they fit together, if that makes sense. They're not as free-flowing as you used to think of Henderson and those guys all together in that crew. But
Gotta
I
say,
don't know, man.
Klopp's adjustments at the half and his substitutes, because he subbed on a bunch of guys, that made all the difference.
Yeah.
Like Jota came on and helped a ton.
Oh, 100%. Because he dropped off and became a creative force where Szoboszlai wasn't far enough forward to do that. He was almost playing box to box, but he just wasn't. It just didn't. It's just disjointed. Again, like I said, it's just not fluid.
Right.
What they're doing all of a sudden, in that midfield. And Curtis Jones isn't a number 10 either. So it was almost like they had Endo, who's a defensive midfielder, and 2 box-to-box guys.
Right.
So they needed somebody to drop in the hole. And Jota does what Harry Kane used to do for Tottenham, what Dennis Bergkamp used to do for Arsenal, and drop in that hole and be that number 10.
Yeah.
When they need him to, and have the other 2 players running off of him. And it worked out brilliantly, obviously, because of how the second half played out.
Right. That Jota pen's not a pen.
No, fuck no, it's not a penalty. That's absolutely pitiful.
Like, he actually took a step and then decided to fall. Like, he didn't need to.
A step and a half. He had an open goal.
He would have gotten the goal.
I mean, what a world do we live in that instead of put the ball in, the only thing he was thinking is maybe I get him a red card also.
Right.
On top of it.
Right.
But the goalkeeper's never going to get a red in that situation anymore. Because as long as there's a genuine attempt to play the ball, you're getting a yellow. There's no double jeopardy.
Yeah, you're not getting a red.
Right, you're not getting a red. And there was a genuine attempt on the ball, obviously.
Yeah.
So there's absolutely no reason to go down. Get the goal for yourself, man. I'm sure every striker has in their contract a goal bonus. I wish I just didn't need the money. Come on.
Yes, Producer Mel.
We got a question from the chats.
Heard.
Steven wants to know, who's going to get the goals in Salah's absence?
I'd like to think it'd be Luis Diaz. He's a man that needs a goal badly.
Yeah.
We saw when he first came into the side how prolific he can be.
I think
But
you'll see some goals out of Jota as well and Gakpo.
He's tailed off big time since then. He does a lot of good things, works hard for the team, all that kind of stuff. But there hasn't been a lot of end product with him.
Right.
And he's looked progressively better since the police found his parents.
Right, that does help.
Obviously, there's a lot less stress, but I'd like to see him through the middle a bit more. That probably won't happen because Darwin Nunez will be there, and Jota's still so good in the air. You kind of want one of the two of them in the middle. Darwin Nunez looks like he's never going to hit the broadside of a barn again.
No.
And some of his decision making is just absolutely atrocious. After he got the ball back from that 1-on-1, he had at least 3 options that were better than him shooting again from outside the 18 and decided to shoot again instead.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just like he gets such tunnel vision so quickly. It's just like, what are you doing, man?
And
I'd be so frustrated with him.
in Portugal, you can get away with that.
Yeah.
Can't get away with that in this league.
No.
You just can't. Absolutely
It's just
can't.
absolutely frustrating. But Jota stepped up before when players have been injured. He's a good goal scorer. He finds a way. He's good with both feet. He's good in the air, despite him being relatively short in comparison to most people. But he just seems to hang there,
Yeah.
But he's an excellent striker of the ball as well. I honestly, it probably comes down to Jota.
Yeah.
For my money, but I'd like it to be Luis Diaz. I'd like to see him
I'm
kind of
thinking-
stamp himself and grow into the role. I think Cody Gakpo is going to just be an impact sub from now on.
Yeah, I
honestly.
think what they're going to do is I feel like they will start Nunez in the center and they'll actually put Jota out in Salah's side simply because if anyone can be versatile, Jota's the guy to be versatile. And then, like you said, it's Gakpo comes off the bench. And I think Gakpo scores goals. And
He
Nunez
does find a finish. He did in this game.
Yeah. I feel like
He's Johnny on the
get
spot in
the
a lot
goals.
of situations. Now, he doesn't make a lot of goals for himself, but he's a good striker of the ball.
Do
And so
you
when
really-
these random chances come to him, he's usually on them and he's pretty good with them.
For him, how many goals does he have to create if he's got Jota and Diaz on
Well,
each side of
absolutely,
him?
exactly. Yeah.
They'll create the goals for him. He just needs to put himself in the right place. The problem with Nunez is Nunez will put himself in the right place and still find a way to fuck it completely off.
Oh, yeah. Ball will be coming to his left foot, and instead of kicking it with his left foot, he'll do a cartwheel and try to toe poke it with his right.
Yeah, it just will go horrifically
What
wrong.
were you thinking? Well, he wouldn't have expected it, would he?
Again, Captain Chaos. Liverpool now find themselves in
If
first
there was
place.
any footballer that were to own a mythical creature, it would be Darwin Nunez.
Oh, absolutely.
It just 'cause you always think of the Uruguayans essentially because of Cavani riding around topless on a horse with their hair down.
Right.
He obviously has super luscious hair and he's quite fit. I could just see him, instead of like a helicopter like some owners like to do out of the state, I could see him flying away on a Pegasus. Is that
Yeah, it makes perfect sense.
just like guitar on the back, you know?
Yes. Now I shall play music for you.
I like it.
I am Antonio Banderas. Now you will sleep with me. Liverpool find themselves in first place. They also find themselves now with a 22-game unbeaten streak at home. Things are going right for them.
Yeah, and they haven't been playing very well. Like I said, their midfield's been quite disjointed. They've been exposed a few times by lesser opposition. And Luton, we think back to that game. There's been a few times where they've not played anywhere near what they're capable of. This second half was as close to the old Liverpool as we've seen. But even that first half just lacked quality for the most part. I mean, that, to be fair, usually the last game of the festive fixtures tend to do that because everybody's fucking exhausted.
Yeah, definitely the case.
But they really clicked into gear in the second half. And, you know, to Newcastle's credit, with all the injuries they have, with now Kieran Trippier and Callum Wilson being out again, but now Kieran Trippier being out as well because he couldn't get a break through the entire month of December. I thought Newcastle did well to cling on to the scraps that they got.
Yeah,
honestly,
I agree.
Botman had a good header, obviously, and Isak scored. It was a rare kind of foray into the Liverpool half. I think Alisson only had one save to make, but you know, on the 3 or 4 shots on target total, I think one a defender blocked kind of near to the line. But yeah, I thought they did well to get to the scraps. Do you think Eddie Howe's in trouble?
I do not. No.
Neither do I. I think there's enough good credit in the bank. Saudi bank, but I think still a bank in it.
Well, and you know they're going to buy whatever.
There's enough oil in the fields, Mel. Is that better?
You know he's going to buy whatever. They're going to buy whatever he needs in January. You know they will go out and they will make purchases. You know that's going to happen.
I also envisage Eddie Howe going like, well, look what Man City did with all their stuff, right? With the oil money. Look what PSG did with the oil money. And he's like, what do you mean we can't buy anybody?
Right.
I think you know what? You remember the old cartoons where they used to wear high heels out in the grass and then they would strike oil? I feel like he's just walking around St. James Park in a set of high heels like Happy Gilmore or Waterboy style. Just like trying to strike the Piff oil, the Piff posse money. Please, let's find some players, please.
We turn our attention now to the top 4, where there has been a shuffle in the standings. Fulham 2, Arsenal 1, Aston Villa 3, Burnley 2, Manchester City 2, Sheffield 0. Fulham go down early, but they charge back with, quite frankly, a shocking win.
Yeah, on form, definitely a shocking win.
Yeah.
Personnel, a shocking win. Our spine is still relatively soft. I think this would have been a great game for Jorginho to be in with Declan Rice to have a little bit more control. But Paulinho bossed it.
Yeah.
Paulinho bossed the middle of the park, and we couldn't really get anything going. Besides the move for the goal, we didn't really do much else. We had a shit ton of shots again, but Leno wasn't very busy.
Yeah, not anything of any real purpose, that's for sure.
I think our passing has been a bit slow. I think our movement has been a bit slow. Where we're scoring, where we're going is we're catching teams on the break when they do tend to come forward. We're catching them on the break. There hasn't really been, kind of besides that Luton game again, where we've created anything from stagnant possession in their half of the field. It's all been transition. And when we slow down like that and they get 9-10 players behind the ball, in West Ham's case the other day, 11 behind the ball, at least, you know, I'm going to say Fulham had a 4A forward and had 10 behind the ball because they left Jimenez up front. We just haven't really been able to penetrate that and break it down. I mean, somebody needs to have a shot from distance and they need to make sure it's on frame. What do we used to say, even about our teams? If you make them respect you from distance, that draws the defense out. Like, oh, shit, I actually got to go mark this guy. He can hit him.
Precisely.
Right? So trying to walk the ball in the back of the net, it's like, Odegaard, have a pop from fucking 22, 25 yards out. Just make
keeps
sure,
them honest.
Just make sure it's on target. You know, if it goes out for a throw-in, they're continuing to pack it in.
Right.
We don't need to worry about this guy.
Yeah. But if it's just going over the post, if the keeper has to make a save, not even a hard save, just a save.
Right. They have to respect that then, and it draws them out a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
That creates the holes, that creates the pockets for you to play through. And we just aren't finding that.
Yeah. No.
At the moment. And it's very frustrating. Jimenez, huge thing for him. Obviously, he sustained that skull fracture against us, David Luiz, back in the day, which kind of derailed his career a bit. And I think to score against us kind of brings that full circle for him and hopefully gets him some closure and confidence. And also, apparently last week, I forgot to mention this. Oh, I wasn't on the show. That headed goal he had midweek, first headed goal since the injury.
Oh, that's good.
Which is another milestone.
Right.
Right. And then, because obviously he wears that kind of pirate patch that's heavily padded where the fracture was.
Right, of course. Yeah.
I wanted him to go full helmet like Petr Cech, but
well, he did the helmet for a little while, but
yeah, it's a lot.
There's only one short bus. There's only one true short bus.
But I mean, so it's a good win for Fulham. I think Tom Kearney was excellent in the game, obviously, but Arsenal they need to play quicker. They stop doing dumb shit.
Yeah.
Bobby De Cordova-Reid's goal, that corner. Like, what if the 5 different Arsenal players touched it in the box against each other? It's just calamitous again. Just fucking deal with it.
So before I get to my next question, what poison would you like, sir? Pick yours. Original, barrel, pumpkin spice.
I think we go pumpkin spice since it's still pretty cold outside.
Okay.
So we got to shake it up. That means there's sediment. Great.
It's going to be like, why don't you just pour it and make him guess which one it is?
It's Malort.
So we could do roulette. Yeah, I like that. I don't mind that. You pick. Just shut my eyes and
By the
pour
way,
one.
Stephen Walsh is in the chats. Like, it's greeting people. Hey, Brody, welcome. Tagging people. Hey, you're online. You should join me in here. Hey, David, up by chance? These lads are great. I'm just sitting here just grinning at all of it.
Everybody needs an Irish host, don't they?
Hells yeah, you do.
I love it.
Bad fucking week for Arsenal, man.
Yeah.
Bad week. My question is, can they rebound from this?
Yeah,
Because I
they
mean,
can.
it's
They have the personnel for it.
not for nothing. It's FA Cup against Liverpool next.
Yeah, don't care.
Like, yeah.
Fuck it off. Don't care. I don't care. Save it for the league.
Well, the good news is you're gonna likely fuck it off too.
Yeah. It'll be like a next gen game. That's fine. Now, what my so
dare I say both of you are going to MLS it?
yeah. Top of the table 2 years in a row at Christmas, right? And every team, Liverpool's title winning season and most of Manchester City's title winning seasons in recent memory, they have set the standard ridiculously high. If you remember back in the day, everybody had these blips.
Oh yeah.
During a title season.
It used to be 90 points won the league. Now it's 100.
Just
gets you
about
second.
Yeah, right? Exactly. Yeah. So Manchester United used to lose at Southampton all the time.
Yeah,
all the fucking time. Just couldn't get past it for whatever reason. It was just a mental block. But so we have the squad to cope. We will cope. We'll figure it out. I trust Arteta. I like the way we play. I thought this performance was the first one where I was like, ooh, that wasn't great.
Yeah, because
the loss to Villa, we played very well. We peppered their goal. Like Emmy was just good. They got blocks in.
The West Ham game, you played well. They just played perfect. They just played
the
perfect
the
game.
exact thing. Yeah. So that was the unstoppable force versus the immovable object. The Arsenal West Ham, right?
Right.
The unlike the Washington Commanders
versus the Jets. You told us that
I
on
say that?
yeah, you said
Okay.
that one. Like it was throwing wet noodles at each other.
Fighting with cooked pasta. Yeah. It's still such a good thing.
And this is why we do video for Sam Graham. Like cook pasta.
Yeah, like cooked pasta. Bippity boppity.
I'm surprised you didn't just use your hair to do that.
Bippity boppity.
You just cussed out half of Italy.
Italy.
Words are fun.
Well, she didn't have it written down, so she couldn't cold read it, Sam.
Villa needed late game heroics. So, by the way, throw back your super fucking shot.
I didn't realize we were done. Sorry.
I asked you a question.
We're done.
We're moving up the table, so now it's Villa.
But you
It's a
move off
much
the
better.
mute button.
It's a much better zing when the mute button's not on the first time.
I'm not going to write that down.
Maybe Steven should greet that. Reacquaint you with the mute button.
I'll tell you what, Villa, for scoring 3 goals, it was not a very convincing 3 goals.
No.
Good Lord, they didn't really look very good against Burnley.
What
To be
was
quite
the
honest.
stoppage time penalty won it?
They just like.
I think it was a penalty, though.
Yeah, it was.
It
Oh,
was.
it was definitely a penalty.
But yeah, no, they did not look convincing at all. That was it. I was just making that point. Mel, take the floor.
Nope, that was it. There really isn't much else to say. It wasn't pretty. We did get the job done. We came away with the points. Happy to say that Douglas Louise is back to fucking Ashley.
Him and Ashley.
they're
women
back
are
together?
Back together.
That's an OnlyFans I'd pay for.
Yeah. Oh.
Either one of theirs.
I just
together.
wonder if she makes Douglas say, "No, honey, you have the best ass at Villa, not
John.
not John McGinn,
Not John Boy.
not John McGinn." And he says that, and he knows he's lying.
Yeah. No, I loved Douglas getting up there and just staring the goalie down, which the goalie, by the way, had a fucking great game.
And Trafford had himself a hell of
We
a
could
game.
not get anything past him. It was amazing to watch.
Speaking of Trafford, real quick, and I know this is about Manchester United, but because it's young Trafford,
Right.
and he's obviously better than old Trafford in general. Did you see there was a Polish news publication that for some reason attended the Manchester United Forest game, it was the game before, where they were at home.
Oh, the one where they beat Villa.
Where they beat Villa. And they rated on their Twitter, it's on X, they tweeted like a picture of a review of the Trafford Shopping Center, because it's also named Trafford.
Okay.
And then a picture of Old Trafford, and an online review where it gave the shopping center 3 stars and Old Trafford got 2 stars.
The shopping center is better than the grounds.
I think young Trafford here got 3 stars as well.
I would say the following about James Trafford is he still makes big mistakes. Like we saw in the Everton match how he just kind of got held off by Godfrey on that open header for Onana, but the bones are there. You see why people are saying this is going to be the future England #1. You're like
Killer instincts.
the kid's got great instincts.
My
in
God.
The net.
He had 3 in a row that were Emmy Martinez save. It's like the way he just went at them, and it was impressive to watch.
It's the same way it was when Pickford was at Sunderland, and everybody was like, "Oh, that kid's real fucking good."
He's, he's in a system where he's going to see a lot of action.
Right, because they're gonna lose the ball because they're gonna try to play out of the
Absolutely.
back.
And so what I want to see from him, the next progression, right, is to step up to a big club, right, where you're not going to see that much.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
we've-
how Emmy Martinez got better. He stepped up to a big club.
She's above you in the table right now. She's allowed to fucking give the zigs. Just take them. His eyes were rolling, Mel, as your back was turned. His eyes were totally
Sorry,
rolling.
I did not mean to interrupt.
Anyway,
Continue.
before I was so rudely interrupted, what I see is the main difference, right? 'Cause we talked about this with Ben Foster back in the day.
Right.
Who would you want? Would you rather somebody like Joe Hart at Man City, who sees 3 shots a game, or would you rather have somebody like Ben Foster, who saves 10 out of 14 a game?
Right.
Who's obviously more in practice,
Right.
because he sees more action. Who would you rather start for England or something like that, right? Who would you rather, at your club? So what I've found, and the general consensus of people I've spoken to, and I think you've kind of reiterated this, is it's the mental part of being a goalkeeper, is being able to stay switched on, even though you have nothing to do. So like Ederson is probably a better goalkeeper in general than, or Allison or whoever, than say Ben Foster or somebody or Trafford,
Right.
because they're able to stay focused for that one split second moment.
Well-
they're not, picking daisies while the ball's down the other end of the field, and then they're not ready for when that one chance comes. That's the huge bit. So what I want to see from Trafford, my point is I want to see him make the step up, and I want to see the mental fortitude now, because he's got the mechanics, he's got the instincts. He's young, he's going to make mistakes, that happens, whatever. I want to see him make the step up, not yet, but eventually, to a bigger club. And I want to see the mental fortitude and the mental side of it. And if he can do that, I'll agree that he's probably Jordan Pickford's replacement.
I would also say, though, too, one of the things that greatly gets looked at in the modern day keeper more so than before, like, because when we do the comparisons of, like, guys like, Foster or Robert Green was a World Cup goalie at one point in time, stuff like that, is
When he was at Tottenham, I think, so he saw a ton of work.
the keeper nowadays also, it's how do they play with their feet out of the back? What is their distribution like? I mean, everybody jokingly says with England, they're like, oh yeah, but Pickford distributes so well. Have you watched him in most games? Yeah, he's real fucking good at it. Like,
Yeah, no, he actually does distribute
really
very well.
fucking good at it. Like, and that makes a big difference when you're trying to play out of the back. And it's not just your keeper booms the ball upfield. Your keeper booms the ball upfield right to fucking Harry Kane's chest.
Yeah.
Like, right on his fucking chest. Like, that fucking means something. So I think the modern day goalkeeper, too, it's not just about how many saves they have or their mentality. It's also, it's a complete package thing nowadays, too. It's how do you distribute the ball? How do you command your defense? Like, all of that comes into more play as opposed to, looking back at the 80s and old Neville Southall that you just couldn't put anything past because he would not allow it.
Yeah.
He just physically would, no, you're not allowed to fucking score. I will save everything.
Right.
Yeah. You got you choking there, huh?
That was
Stuck.
bad. Yeah, I got to do a little more
Need some more, what is that throat number?
numbing spray.
Numbing spray. City absolutely clinical in their victory.
I've had to use it ever since Paulina's cock was in Arsenal.
Exactly.
Fucking terrible.
And now with a game in hand, just a point out of second place, man. Like, I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, it was always going to happen. And guess who's fit?
Kevin De Bruyne.
Brilliant.
Like, fuck.
Fucking brilliant. I mean, they didn't even need him in this game, and they still had over 80% possession. The only thing they couldn't do was fucking kill the game off. I bet this game, and I bet the over 3.5 because I thought that they, after what happened with the 2-1, I thought they were absolutely going to put Sheffield to the sword. Obviously, Holland wasn't there to do a lot of the finishing, but with that much of the ball, no one's going to score against you.
Right.
So, I mean, they,
I got
19.6 is what Sheffield United had in possession. And if you do that over 90 minutes, that's something ridiculous like, I think, 1960. Or that'd be 20 minutes. 1945, I think I worked out
it was
earlier.
the total amount of
something
time
like
they
that.
had the
Yeah.
ball for. Two
It's
things.
fucking ridiculous.
Two things for you. One is something that I brought up on the last show with Hiram that I definitely want to bring up with you. The second thing is just a real quick jab. Just want to say, by the way, Sam, excellent betting. The safest bet in the world ever last week. That was going to be Luton and Sheffield to not score over 3 goals, 5 goals. That was very good. Just want to say,
Thank you.
Well done. What's the number you got there for me, bud?
1746. That's insane.
I also like the fact that of those 5 goals, Sheffield scored 4 of them and lost. Because that's what you get out of a 20th place team. That's exactly what you get out of a 20th place team. The other thing I had for you that I was talking with Hiram about, and I wanted to talk with you about as well, finally feels like all the talent is starting to click with Phil Foden. And he's really starting to become.
He was excellent. I had
that
that on my
fucking
notes
guy.
also to bring up before we finish talking about this.
Same thing in
He
the
was
Everton
excellent.
match. In the Everton match too, it's like I think with De Bruyne being gone and him finally being kind of forced. Well, and not even so much him being forced into that role, Pep being forced to play him. Right,
Yep.
because Pep was always so kid gloves, especially with kids. He's so fucking. doses, and Pep probably overthinks it a little too much because, as we've talked about, he's a footballing fucking nerd, right?
Yeah, well, Phil Foden completely bought into the plan where somebody like Cole Palmer was like, fuck this, I want to play.
Yeah.
And forced to move to Chelsea.
Right. And for Foden, it really looks like it's all starting to click, and I think we're going to be talking about a guy who's going to be player of the year in the next couple of years in the Prem easily, and will be the guy at England.
Yeah.
Like how Harry Kane was the guy for England, it will be Phil Foden. I really feel that.
I think he's got competition from Jude Bellingham, but yeah, I'm with you. I understand. And Bukayo Saka, of course.
Of course.
Of course.
Well, good thing he scored a bunch of goals this weekend and you guys won.
You're a cunt.
Rounding out the rest of the league, so that happened. Chelsea 3, Luton 2, Crystal Palace 3, Brentford 1, Nottingham Forest 2, Man U 1, Tottenham 3, Bournemouth 1, Brentford 0, West Ham 0. Palmer with a brace. Chelsea absolutely dominant till the 80th minute, and then they fucked it right off.
76th, and then VAR got involved because Luton had one chalked off, remember?
That's right.
So this could have been very different. And I did, in all of my real money bets this weekend, take Chelsea or draw because of the building.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Yeah.
But Cole Palmer was excellent, as usual. Good strike to open the scoring after just 12 minutes. Madueke, fierce hit from real close, though, so it didn't look that fierce.
Yep.
But he tried to take the fucking net off the goalposts.
Well, particularly with in the case of Palmer, you can tell it's like, okay, so Nkuku's back and playing and has scored a goal already, or two actually already, because I think he scored in the League Cup as well. Mm-hmm. He's scoring, and there's still Nick Jackson, and Palmer's making it very clear, oh, no, we ain't playing this Pep shit. I'm your fucking starter, and here's why. Yeah. And he's putting the ball on the back of the net, man.
Absolutely.
He's doing exactly what he needs to do.
100%. And then, the third goal for the team, but his second, I mean, what feat that was. He was almost doing a fucking foxtrot through the back line. Mm-hmm. It was, I don't know what was happening. He had people sliding various directions, and then found the composure to tuck home again. Ross Barkley, obviously, was excited about his New Year's Eve crayons, so he decided to score. So he wanted the green one.
Here's an interesting question I have for you with Ross. We've seen him have like blips of brilliance and then kind of fade off. He did it at Everton, but he was 20, so okay.
He was the most consistent at Everton, actually,
and then at Chelsea, and then like 2 seasons ago with Villa, it was like he started the year really bright and then just kind of faded into nothing. What is it this time that he's actually being consistent? Because he's being real consistent, like every game in and game out.
I think it's one of those, like, compared to kind of a child actor. You're thrust into the limelight very young. Mm-hmm. You kind of went off the rails a bit. And then you're 31. What the fuck are you going to do with your life?
You're like, this is it.
I have to make this work. And you finally buckle down and finally mature.
Well, it feels like he's being a team player.
When you look at Phil Foden at 22 or 23, whatever he is now, right? And the maturity that you see in his play, like being around somebody like Bernardo Silva and Kevin De Bruyne for that many years. Mm-hmm. Now has got to age you and mature you in a football and cultural sense, right?
Right, of course.
You have to feel like a well-traveled fucking 40-year-old, right? At that point.
Right.
Ross Barkley's never had that. So he's at 31 looking in the mirror and going, wow, I could have been something.
Yeah, it pissed that off, didn't I?
You know what I mean? Not that he's had a shit career, because he hasn't had a shit career.
Hey,
I'm not saying he's like a has-been, but I'm saying you know what? I'm saying he's wasted potential.
Oh, yeah.
Because he could have been a ton better than he was.
A has-been would be Jack Rodwell from Everton that went on to City and then
fuck all, and then injury.
And then famously in the Sunderland Till I Die, the Sunderland Till I Die documentary, where he just didn't even want to play.
Well, he was like, "Do you know who I am?"
Oh, like,
go fuck yourself, bro.
My knee feels twingy. I don't want to. I don't want to hurt myself here.
You didn't do anything. You didn't even win anything.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
and then getting paid on huge wages too. Like a lot of the reason why Sunderland ultimately went down to League One because they had to dump a bunch of money into a guy who sat on a trainer's table.
Exactly. I'm not saying Ross Barkley didn't try, or I'm not saying. I just don't think he had the maturity to step up and be the guy.
Well, he's played in some of the best leagues in the world. I mean, he went and played in France for a while and did well there. But it just never seemed like this.
It never seemed to click.
Yeah.
It never seemed to. I just don't think he had the maturity to step up.
Yeah,
I really don't. And I think now he's looking at himself in the mirror and going, "Fuck, I should have been the guy at some point. I haven't been. Now I'm going to try to do that." And he's, these kind of players. Joey Barton did it with QPR to an extent, where it was like, I'm gonna, go to a kind of unfashionable, kind of lower club and be what I should have been. And show that I can do it and prove it to myself and everybody else that I can be the guy.
Yeah, absolutely agree.
It's just hopefully he doesn't later on develop very misogynistic views like Joey Barton did.
No shit. Just stay off
I don't
Twitter,
think
Joey.
Ross understands any of that or what's going on. I literally think his parents still grind up colored crayons and pat them into the shapes of various foods.
The only misogynist.
Oh, that steak, Ross.
The only
it's just a brown crayon
thing that Ross does is go, ooh, boobies. That's about it.
I don't think Steven meant to agree with you on that statement, but he does agree. He's finally showing what he could have done, and he says that Graham smashed it with that description of professionalism, and that Phil Foden was absolutely told that if you stick around, you'll be that guy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, the other thing you saw with Phil Foden, too, was he made his mistake, but he made it with England. Remember, with that whole Iceland situation?
Yeah.
Where he fucked off with a couple of girls and got a takeaway.
Yep.
He hasn't done that with City, that sort of stuff. So I think he kind of tested the waters as a young man is supposed to do and rebel a little bit. And he went, oh, fuck, okay, I got benched. I'm never doing that again,
So moving on, Palace go down early, but charge back on an Elise brace and an Eze goal.
I mean, go down early is what a fucking goal by Harry's younger brother, Lewis. Oh, no, it's a hyphenated name, isn't it? Mm-hmm. It's a Harry Potter joke, Mel.
Yeah.
By Lewis.
He doesn't have Graham Potter to make the jokes about, so he has to go back to the well.
But he fucking had the magic, didn't he? That was absolutely brilliant. And then Brentford did fuck all the rest of the game because Eberechi Eze and Michael Elise fucking took over.
Yep.
And it was a joy to watch. Palace are such a different side when both of them are there. It is absolutely phenomenal.
And I love Roy the boy. Like, interviewed afterwards, he was just like, they're like, because apparently they're talking to Steve Cooper, and he's like, don't disrespect me like that. You saw what we did today. I got this. Leave it be. I know what I'm doing.
Right. Yeah.
You gotta love, like Roy and fucking like the Warlock, right? People like, they're so old, they just don't fucking care.
Well, they can't let it go either, right? But it's also, I mean, think about it. How disrespectful would it be? And you're going to come into this soon as you're approaching 60 now, that you're 51.
I can't wait till this fucker turns 40 because he is going to sob like a baby that he's an old man.
This is why I stayed in the position I'm in, because my experience is valuable at my level.
Heard. Okay.
If I move up, I'm replaceable like Roy.
Heard.
Here's the thing, is he's 74 years old. Yeah. The club has to prepare for the future.
Oh, of course they do.
They have to plan for that. They have to line up his replacement. They have to be ready for that. And it's not a good feeling when that's being publicly talked about while you're still in situ.
Just allow me
And
to say
they can't let it go. People like Neil Warnock and Roy, they can't let it go. So I understand his frustration. He's asked about it week in, week out. I get it. And it's not a good feeling. What he would do well is to have a bit of grace about himself and go, yes, I realize I'm 74 years old, and I realize the club are going to eventually have to replace me. but I still feel like I can do the job. And by the way, so you know how young I am, I watch the TikTok, and I've seen the TikTok of myself pinging balls to players in the box from the corner, showing them how to fucking do it.
Yeah.
And he was doing it really well. Actually,
it's interesting. You should bring up, about Crystal Palace looking towards the future. If only they had the future with Patrick fucking Vieira, who they shouldn't have fucking fired. Sorry, I just want to get that out of my system.
We'll talk about that on the EFL show.
a little something in my throat.
There's another team that shouldn't have fired somebody
Oh, Jesus.
in the old championship.
Keeping it going. Nottingham Forest and Manchester United.
Oh, thank God the first half's over.
Jesus Christ, because that's
The
about
worst.
exactly what the first half was.
Nothing. That was my hard-hitting analysis. Here it is. Here it is one more time. Yeah.
Oh, shit.
No, did I wake you up? Fuck me. I almost did. You didn't even watch the second half. I almost didn't listen to this. I was working. I almost didn't listen to the second half. It was absolutely pitiful.
I told Mel, I was like, come on out, let's watch a show together. She's like, isn't the game on? I was like, not worth fucking watching.
No.
So I had to go back and watch the highlights to fucking see
It was
everything that happened.
fucking terrible, this game. A little bit livelier in the second half. They got a bit chippy as well. But good for Forest. First time they've beaten Manchester United since 1991.
Oh, nice.
At the City Ground, I believe. First time in the Premier League era.
I knew they drew them last year.
Might have been in 92.
Yeah, they
But
drew
in
'em-
the spring before the Premier League started in the fall.
They drew them at the City Ground last year when they had first
Yeah,
come
but the
up.
first time they beat them. Yep.
And
At the City Ground for 30-odd years.
fucking
Pretty good.
United. Everybody real chesty about that fucking comeback on Villa 3-2, and then you do this.
Well, that's it. I mean, you can't. I think that was more of a reflection of the way Villa stepped off in that game versus how United took it over.
Right.
I don't know that I really said that at the time.
Mm-mm.
I wasn't on that
you weren't on the show. Yeah.
Well, that's what I was thinking. Because I know what the fuck I'm talking about.
Sure thing.
I don't know, dude. It was bad. It was bad.
Really
this
bad.
game for United. It was very bad.
Again, and we've talked about this ad nauseum, and we'll say it one more time. The sad part is this team's probably going to finish in 7th place and go to the McRib. And it's simply because they are Manchester United and they have that kind of money to do it. And what this team really deserves is like what happened to Spurs last year or what's happened to Chelsea. And you just not make anything.
Oh, yeah. Well,
They
you know
deserve
what?
to straight up fuck off.
One of the announcers, when I was listening in the car on XM, said that Marcus Rashford didn't even look like he wanted to be there in the first half.
Huh. Yeah.
Period. It's like he looks like he would rather be doing anything else but this.
Right.
It's just like, how far do y'all want to fall where this stalwart last season and multiple seasons, a player that has represented the Manchester United shirt very well, in my opinion, both on and off the pitch in recent years, as well as played for England in a fantastic capacity as well.
Mm-hmm.
Do that. Look disinterested.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jadon Sancho, you got a 70 million pound footballer training with the reserves or,
Right.
excuse me, on his own. Just the manager's got to go, man. The manager has to go for anything to change the Manchester United. I also think Bruno Fernandes has to go.
But I was also going to say, what about the fucking players, man? Because they've changed over management so many times, and every single time, it's still like
Because they're not.
You get rid of one player, but the fucking the damage is still done. You got rid of Pogba, but there was still the attitude. You got rid of fucking Ronaldo. There's still the attitude. So if you get rid of Bruno, is that going to fucking change things? I don't think.
I don't see anybody else that behaves like him.
But I don't think it will.
But before you had Pogba, Ronaldo, and him acting that way.
I think that whole team thinks it can act that way.
But here's the problem. They have not bought players for a footballing reason in many years.
Oh, they buy them for jerseys.
They buy footballers for commercial reasons, right? Exactly that. And now they have this weird amalgamation, the word of the month. They have this weird amalgamation of fucking egos and shit, and nobody there to temper those feelings and the way they behave. It's like, I'm at Manchester United, I fucking made it. I deserve everything that's given to me. You no longer have Fergie time. You no longer have Old Trafford penalty guarantee. You no longer have these things that you used to have because you all, as players, have not respected the position you're in and created those things for yourselves. And the lustrous allure and beautiful, we are Manchester United, blah, blah, blah. That doesn't exist anymore.
Fuck that, Sam. They're not even the biggest club in their own fucking city anymore.
That's what I'm saying. You're absolutely right.
They're not.
They have not kept up with the times.
This is the most storied club in arguably the history of world football.
Real Madrid's got a lot to say about that. But yes, I hear you.
And they're just...
But Real Madrid's never had to deal with the plane crash.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things around Manchester United that make them huge, and give that sort of mystique. And they'll always be a commercial behemoth. But as shit as they've played, they're still in, sixth?
Yeah, that's what they are. I think they fell to seventh
or something.
Today.
Yeah,
I think they fell to eighth today because of Brighton with the draw.
Yeah. But
I told you they're going to find a way to be seventh place at the end of the year
and get European football again.
Yeah, and then they'll go win it.
And they'll win the McRib Cup.
Yeah. And that's because, and on a commercial level, that's all they care about.
That's all they give a shit about.
They don't care about what the
but
supporters
they
that go to that stadium every day.
They
care about the supporter that buys a jersey in China. That's
correct.
What they care about.
They haven't had a coherent plan for a fucking number of years. Mm-hmm. And somebody like David Moyes, who was unfashionable, they let go. Somebody that would have had a plan and would have had longevity, they let go.
Yeah.
Because the results weren't there immediately. And it's just the Glazers are shit, and that's how it goes. But you know what? I'm here for it. Sign me up to 10 more years of this. Not a fucking problem.
Well, as an Arsenal supporter, you fucking love it.
Absolutely. Bunch of...
Uh-huh. Keeping it rolling. Spurs get another really good win at home against a team that is in really good form. Now, the problem for me there for them is you have that nice win against Everton and you have this nice win against Bournemouth, and then you look like dog shit in the middle but at Brighton, and Brighton's not a team in form right now.
No.
And so for me with Tottenham, it's this
the way
roller
Tottenham
coaster
play,
thing.
But the way Tottenham plays suits the way Brighton plays.
Oh God, yeah. Oh God, yeah. There's a reason why Brighton was up 4-0.
That real high line.
Oh yeah.
And Brighton's got willing and ready runners.
Yeah, Matoma made him fucking pay.
Look stupid.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It got hurt doing it, but yeah, absolutely. But yeah, I think they ultimately just had too much for Bournemouth, but Bournemouth had chances in this game.
Oh God, yeah, they did.
To be honest,
I mean, it was 1-0 for the bulk of the game, and then the 2-3 came pretty quickly at the end, and it wasn't like Bournemouth didn't have chances to fucking do something about it.
They hit the bar a couple times too, Bournemouth. What I would say is I think Son's departure is going to hurt worse than Mo Salah's departure.
I would agree, especially because you don't have James Madison in there right now.
Exactly.
If you had James Madison, you'd be fine, because then it would be Johnson, Richarlison, and Kovacic, and you would just have Madison behind him providing, and one of those three would find goals. Now, does help that Richarlison's starting to get hot. Yep. Like, he gets streaky, and this is the right time for him to be getting streaky.
With normally his downtime. Of course, he's only scored 3 goals in 2.5 years, but, so it is a good time for him to get hot. You're absolutely right. But I think without Son, I mean, he now creates a ton. Son does for this team. He drops off like Harry Kane did.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
now, and for the Cherries, look good. This wasn't a game you're supposed to win.
No. I wouldn't be worried about it. They've done, over the last month and a half, they've done exactly what they're supposed to do. They've gotten themselves comfortably safe.
Yeah.
And they can afford the odd slip up, but no big deal.
Yeah, really.
It's fine.
There is nothing to really say about this last match. Normally, this is where we would jokingly say...
no, I've got it. I've got it.
Go ahead.
There was a professional football match in the English Premier League between West Ham United Football Club and Brighton and Hove Albion.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
your money.
All right.
Yeah, it's my segment now,
I know.
Ken.
Go ahead.
Don't all right mine. Mm-hmm. All right. I didn't win again. I'm now down 547 points. Ugh, what the fuck? I'm just going to read it. We aren't betting the FA Cup other than a shot of Malort for our clubs getting bounced. So we will be back next week with our bets for the following weird-ass week of pseudo-winter break stuff.
Do you have yours?
I have not written it yet, but
Okay.
I do have it. You go ahead.
So Graham's Gunners fucked me, and I'm now down $239.
Big Sam's Lock of the Week.
Mr. Graham, did you know that 21.052632% of the time? You know what, Stephen? It works 100% of the time, stud. For mine, I thought we were past...
He is a numbers guy.
Yeah. I thought we were past the Wenger bottling it era, is what I wrote for mine. So, you know, thanks. Really. Good work. It's the only part of my bet that didn't hit. I picked all favorites.
Nice.
The only part that didn't fucking hit.
So did I.
All right.
I said I got DP'd by City's goals and Arsenal's performance.
There we go.
Just fucked right out of both of them.
All right.
Yep.
Well, Kitty also missed with Arsenal, and she was on a bit of a burner
She was
there.
on a tear.
But she finishes the calendar year at 12-6, man. And Mel, what should we all do whenever we gamble?
Always remember to gamble illegally and responsibly.
Very nice. Well, kids, we're going to keep the cameras rolling here because we're going to do the EPL show. And we're also going to do our injury time show, which is going to be the FA Cup. But before we get to that, Mr. Graham, any parting words?
Yeah, I want to make mention for probably one of the greatest almost goals that'll ever be scored. And there's only one comparison I can think of off the top of my head that actually did go in that everyone will remember. Roberto Carlos for Real Madrid hugging the left end line with his left foot somehow managed to strike the ball in a manner in which it bananaed into the far corner.
Yep.
Trent Alexander-Arnold, after fucking up the follow-up to Mo Salah's penalty, which was probably an easier chance,
Yeah.
almost did that on the right side.
Yeah, it
and
was-
it'll never be remembered, and nobody will give a shit because it hit the crossbar and didn't go in. But it was fucking an excellent strike. It was an excellent strike. And in 3 weeks, no one will remember that it happened, and I think it deserves a mention because it was brilliant.
Very good. So, like I said, next up for us is going to be our EFL show, where we're going to talk about the lower three leagues, which have been, whenever Klopp likes to complain about, you know, too many games or, you know, playing on a Wednesday and then playing the early match on a Saturday, I would just like to let it be known the right before Christmas, Friday, no, it was a Saturday, a Tuesday, a Friday, and a Monday. 4 games in the last 10 calendar days for the Championship, League One, and League Two.
Speaking of Jurgen Klopp.
4 games in 10 days.
Speaking of Jurgen Klopp, and you just reminded me about this and his complaints and everything else. Did you see him lose his wedding ring post-game?
Yes, I did.
Did you hear what he had to say about it in his post-match press conference?
I just heard that the cameraman found it, and he said he was going to be in really deep water if he didn't find it.
Yes, but before that, he preceded that by saying, the cameraman, who 6 or 7 times this season has annoyed me, did me a solid, so now he gets a few free hits. There's always a thinly veiled dig.
Oh, yeah.
Never
always.
far away for no reason.
He's never happy.
And you could hear him on the camera's microphone. You could hear him say, "Oh, thank you so much. This is very important."
And so
You know, and then to dig him out.
So we got the EFL show
So
coming up.
fucked.
We're going to stay live for that. We are going to take a quick break to just go get some beers and go to the bathroom and all the good stuff. And we're going to come back and do that. And then after that, we're also going to do injury time, which is typically through our Patreon. If somebody wants
Yes.
to find our Patreon, how they go about doing that,
Is
Mr. Graham?
patreon.com/DU Football Show. It's just $5 a month. You sign up to a recurring payment and you get all the extra stuff
I know
that Sam's talking about.
I know you said we were recording it for video. Are you going to stream it?
We are going to stay live this entire time. We're going to also do injury time because we're also releasing injury time for free to everybody this Thursday. Why would that be, Sam?
Because it's a New Year's miracle, Sam. It's the FA Cup third round, our favorite weekend of the fucking year. Put it straight in our veins.
We are fucking junkies. Put that brown right there.
So the injury time that is normally what we refer to as DU After Dark will not change.
No.
However,
We'll fix the lighting.
Sure.
I kind of like to watch. But it's going to be our preview of the third round of the FA Cup, which we normally do a fully separate show for. But instead, we want to give you guys a glimpse, give you a little freebie in the hopes that you will, those of you that aren't, and I don't know why you wouldn't be, but signed up to the Patreon so you get this every week.
Mr. Graham, we have 4 non-league sides in the third round of the FA Cup. And we are going to talk all about them, baby.
This is what it's about.
We are going to talk about
David
the
v.
Stone.
Goliath.
We're going to talk about the shots. We are going to talk about the Spirettes. And we're going to talk about the Spitfires, baby.
Yes.
That is exactly who we are going to talk about.
You know what it's not? And I'm a little disappointed because this happened in the Egyptian Cup last week.
What's that?
It's a bit of a weird one. But African team names have always been a thing that is near and dear to our hearts. You remember Police Machine
Yes.
and a few of their things that are nefariously gotten up to.
A lot of princes like to name teams after themselves.
Yeah, but there was a very vortexy moment that happened in Egypt in the Egyptian Cup, and that was Pyramids played Modern Future.
Oh, really?
Okay.
I like that. Modern Future.
Versus Pyramids. The history. Fucking brilliant.
So good.
I believe Modern Future won because of gunpowder.
Right there. Right there in the vein. That is all there is to it.
Yeah.
Yes,
So the
producer.
FA Cup throws up a lot of that cool shit too. But yeah, I mean nothing really beats African Cups to be honest.
Go ahead, Mel.
Are we going to be doing a third spinoff next year?
Maybe.
African clubs.
Just do TikToks about it. It's better. Stephen Walsh, from Steve Walsh Trivia, said, first time being a part of this. You guys are amazing.
Oh, thank you,
Thank
sir.
you, Sam, Melissa, Sam. I really like how we sandwiched that. And he asked
Well,
for
that's what's
some
going to happen
links.
later.
It's not. And since we're,
Sneak peek to injury time.
I don't think he's going to appreciate his plug coming in this context, or maybe this is the right context. But check out our famous friend, and I say famous because he's been featured on CBS This Morning, CNN, Business Insider, Walsh Trivia, walshtrivia.com for all of your fun trivia games and answers.
And I'll text you my Venmo later, man, for that plug. So just it'll only be about $50.
And never forget the time we did trivia. I beat you.
Oh, fuck you. I knew you were going to bring it up. You
away
absolute daft
a
cunt.
ball from your
You
child.
absolute daft cunt.
Still own that ball. Still own that
Sad.
ball.
That's the sad thing. I was like, can I get that? No. No, Big B can't have it. No, James can't have
No,
it.
he displays it like a trophy.
Yeah,
It's around here somewhere.
surprised it's not in your altar behind you.
All right, for everybody that's on with us live, we'll be back in just a few minutes.
See you
And for
soon.
everybody else, till next week.
Good night.
you are back live on the intranet.
Hello, Internet. See if I can let Graham be a part of this intro. I won't just, take it all over and
The whole time.
Yeah, but the bit was good.
You missed the post, too.
I know I did. I was a little early.
My goodness.
Just saying.
Is it better to be early or late?
Late, because late's funny. Because late, you push it. And you got to push it in. Yeah, and that
Push it real good.
That sounds funny.
I'd argue late is how Graham ended up with 3 kids.
Definitely late pulling out.
It's why we're here late tonight, because somebody's pullout game not so
You're
strong.
supposed to pull out before you lose it.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I had that backwards.
Yeah.
No shit.
I thought you lost yourself first.
All right. Well, I mean, that normally leads me to believe the following.
Didn't bring to the game not just the basics of football, I believe the basics of
I
life.
think I brought the basics of life. That's why I created 3 of them.
I was going to say Mel's start of the show is kind of not the basics of life.
Hella zesty.
Is it? Is it though, Tegan? Make me regret that purchase.
Get my way downtown, walking fast. I'm a seagull, go fuck yourself.
Except for they weren't.
That was ridiculous.
What a drug that was to watch. I watched that whole fucking thing. I was just like,
Fuck me.
when will this game be over?
I fell asleep in the middle of it.
Fucking terrible.
I fell asleep in the middle of it. I put my blanket on. I was a little chilly down in the basement. I had my computer out. I was ready to type notes.
I'm just like,
I put a blanket on and I just dozed off. It was fucking terrible.
can't say I blame you. Can't say I blame you. All right, we ready to do the EFL show?
I'm ready
Yeah.
to go.
Hold on. Okay.
Nice.
Now I'm ready to do the EFL show.
Don't encourage him. Although I prefer you guys do it here than, during the recording. Graham.
All right. Sometimes it just slips out, man.
No, sometimes it just slips in. It's your problem.
That's how he's got 3 kids.
Stop making me laugh. You'll make me cough again.
Numb
sorry,
your
we're
throat
being
some more
very
there, stud.
serious.
We'll take care of you.
For this entertaining comedy sports show. I mean, why start now being funny? Stop it.
Mr. Graham.
Now start it again.
Like a fucking bunny rabbit over there. Yeah. What do you think Klopp's head would do if he had to play 2 games in 4 days?
Explode?
Yeah, it probably would, right?
He'd throw his wedding ring.
Yeah,
He wouldn't just drop it.
The Championship, League 1 and League 2 all played 2 games in 4 days because, they all have 847,000 games
That's
to play
it.
a season. Let's start the show.
Born in the land of Bowie, Maryland. Bred to be a fan of fucking Everton. Punch you in the eye and drink your rye. Sam Huston.
Sam Huston.
Arsenal fans have another Sam. Right day, the fucking Gooner Graham. Stump of a lord. Look straight in shorts. Sam Graham, hey.
Sam Graham.
Fucking United! Fucking United!
Hello and welcome to DU Does the EFL, a completely biased brief recap of the English Football League as told by 2 common American schmucks. I am your host, Sam Huston, and I forgot to change this. Across the way from me is not Mr. Hiram Wainwright, but my good friend, Mr. Samuel Graham. How are you, buddy?
Do you just read whatever's on the teleprompter there? Is that it?
Yes.
I'm doing well, thank you.
Stay classy, San Diego. Yeah, but
You know
I
what I
also-
just thought about programming note now that you quoted a movie. Yes, I did know that it was a movie. Thank you very much. The if we're streaming it, we can't go out on a song unless it's less than 30 seconds.
on injury time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Oof.
We
As long as it's not on Facebook.
We could get the old
Well, you
the
know
old
what?
cease and desist again.
I-
Which is how you know you've made it.
I can always go back through the public domain and see
See what's available.
what's fallen in, because January 1st, Public Domain Day. Hence why our logo this week had Steamboat Willie.
There's got to be some blur in there somewhere, right?
And over there on the ones and twos, someone that appreciated the fuck that I nailed that goddamn post. Producer Mel, how you doing, Producer Mel?
It was a sexy post hit.
That was a good post hit. I would like to.
Is that-
You know, it was the second best post hit this week.
We'll talk about it on injury time. Settle down.
What was the second best post hit this week?
Yours.
Oh, okay. What was number one?
Douglas Louise hitting that penalty.
Oh my God.
I just looked at you waiting for you to ask.
He hit that. He hit that post so hard he got Ashley back.
Yeah, just wanting it. Jesus. Yeah, he did.
It also it's cuffing season. It's a little chilly in England right now.
Well, apparently they've been together for a while. They just made it. They just their Christmas present to their fans was letting us know.
Oh, so they've been back together for a bit
Apparently
we
they've been back
knew.
together for a bit. They just didn't let the public know until Christmas. It's like, hey guys, Merry Christmas. We're boning.
Got it.
We're recording at the DU Public House just outside the nation's capital. You can check us out wherever you get your pods. And of course, streaming typically on Mondays, but right now on a Tuesday, because fuck New Year's Day. Should you want to chat with us, there are as many ways that you can. Mr. Graham, tell the good people how they can get in touch.
Gonna be the same socials for this show. It's at DU Football Show on all the social media and dufootballshow@gmail.com to get in touch via email.
Speaking of same shit, we're drinking the same shit because we're recording on the same night.
Championship Corner!
I've fallen and I can't get up. Oh no!
I'm going to skip the first sentence because we already said that.
I'd rather talk more about tumultuous footballing relationships than the championship, to be fair.
No, you don't. You want to talk about
Morrow
the
and
championship.
Wanda? Come on.
Leicester have increased their lead at the top to 10 points with 2 wins this week on Friday and on Monday.
Yes.
Ipswich drew both of their matches.
Still comfortably in second, though.
Southampton and Leeds both drew and won, but the big one was a Leeds 3-0 victory over Birmingham City that ultimately got Mr. Wayne Rooney sacked, which I'm sure the Leeds fans were just fucking heartbroken over.
Right, yeah. But also, I mean, what was it, 2 wins or maybe 3 wins in 15 games? It was only 15 games he was in charge.
Right.
There was no reason he should have been hired in the first place, other than this new ownership group wanted, the Shelby Company, by the way. I mean, which, how much more placating can you get to the town? I mean, we said it was kind of funny and interesting when they first took over, but then they started doing this dumb shit. You know, the previous manager had them in 6th place.
Right.
Was absolutely crushing
in
it by
15th now.
by their standards, yeah. And it's been nothing but a rock in the sea, just free fall.
Yep.
Straight
Absolute
to the
free
bottom.
fall.
It's absolutely pitiful what's been going on in Birmingham City. And they obviously have the players to get a job done as long as you coach them correctly, because nothing has changed. Wayne Rooney took over after the season started.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just, it's not like he pulled up trees at DC United.
No.
He wasn't doing anything spectacular. They just wanted a name, and he wanted to be back in England.
And the only reason
Probably to shag another prostitute.
the
The ones in DC aren't very good, by the way.
Oh, okay. Well, would you know this personally, sir?
No.
Okay. Well,
I've
then-
heard.
Then why are we laying it out there like that?
I
huh?
just heard.
No, I would.
Probably prostitutes are better. I don't know why that's a thing. I went down that road without thinking about the outcome.
Just letting you marinate in that one there, stud.
Oh, I don't want to marinate in that one. I'm gonna get the fuck out of there.
The other thing, too, is with Derby County, everybody gave him a lot of credit for doing a lot with nothing.
Yeah,
But
which
that's
was
just
true.
but that's also because that club was completely imploding at the
Correct.
time. So,
But Birmingham was not.
but they were still, but with Derby County, yeah, they were imploding. He was doing a lot with a little, but the team still went down. So he ultimately failed at the job, but he got a lot more credit for it.
No, because they also had a points deduction.
Yeah.
Though, I mean, that wasn't necessarily his fault either. Would you blame Sean Dyche this season if y'all went down?
We ain't going down.
With a 10-point deduction?
We ain't going down.
I know. I said, would you? This is a hypothetical. Were you to go down, would you be like, oh, fuck Dyche, it's his fault? No. Because
I might, depending on how they play.
10 points would probably see you in 16th.
Right. And fair. Oh, no. 10 points right now would see us in fucking.
Higher than Manchester United.
Fucking 10th right now is where we'd be.
But what my point is, is he almost survived that, is what I'm saying with them. But that was proper backs against the wall. I mean, we know Wayne's a big boxing fan, even though he got knocked out in his own kitchen that one time over the Christmas period.
Well, maybe he shouldn't have been sleeping with Brummy prostitutes.
I don't know that you can actually blame, Rooney for Derby County going down. You can absolutely blame Wayne Rooney for Birmingham City's implosion.
Right. And also DC. Well, no, DC United's been
This is a shit show for ages. Absolute ages. That's why I don't really even follow him anymore. It's like, what the fuck's the point?
We'll always have those first 4 seasons where we won 3 cups.
I told one of my favorite players to ever play the game is still El Diablo, still Marco Echeverry.
Yeah,
because I was a very impressionable kid at that time, and I just loved watching him play. It was phenomenal.
Turning our attention to the bottom of the table, we've been talking about QPR a lot, but Wednesday have been on a bit of a run. Through December and New Year's Day, they have gone 6-3. They have now jumped QPR, and they are now the ones sitting a full 3 points off of Huddersfield Town to get out of the drop.
Yep, absolutely. Wednesday's been on a hell of a run. It's fantastic for them to have that. QPR, I feel bad because Les Ferdinand is a phenomenal. I don't know what his actual title is. Probably director of football.
Director of football, yeah.
But he's been excellent. I feel bad for them that they're in this position. But they've been very, very active in a lot of different social and footballing causes that are near and dear to my heart. And I hate to see them in this position. But Wednesday's just been on a hell of a run, and there's nothing you can do with form. I mean, it just is what it is. I mean, look where Villa are, for instance, in the Premier League. There's just nothing you can do, against form. It just is what it is.
And typically, in most leagues, you always think the 3 newly promoted teams are going to be the 3 teams to go down. Well,
they at least have the best chance of it, yeah.
Plymouth is comfortably 12th.
Yeah.
They're hanging right around, like they're doing what they need to do. They're winning the games they need to win.
But the championship's an interesting bit because there's a culture of spending a shit ton of money to try to make it to the Premier League, hedging your bets that you're going to get promoted.
Yeah.
And that causes teams to buy players that don't necessarily fit. It causes them to buy flair players. It causes them to buy, overspend for certain things and then have points deductions, Derby County, or, whatever.
Or you get a veteran player that was in the Premier League on a free, but he also comes with $75,000 a week wages, which is not what you can afford,
Right. But you're hedging your your bets that you get promoted, and a lot of them don't. Remember, there's only 3 that go up, so there's 21 that don't go up. And there's actually 4 that go down, or 3 that go down, rather.
Yep.
3 that go down.
League One, same schedule, had double matches. Pompey had a disappointing draw with Exeter City.
Surprise.
But then got a 2-1 victory over Stevenage. Bolton has now pulled off 2 victories and find themselves only 2 points back in second. The Posh are in third as they had back-to-back 2-2 draws. Derby, Oxford, and Barnsley round out the top 6 with Stevenage in 7th place. All uneven on points. And then in 8th place, you have Blackpool, who is 4 points back of the rest of the group, and then everybody else is very far off. So it's just that's kind of...
So it's like a top 9, basically. Or top 8. Top 8, rather.
That's really, really about it. Reading has finally pulled themselves out of the bottom 4. They had a draw in the midweek, and then they had a massive 3-2 victory over Exeter City. Exeter City.
There we go.
Yeah, words are fun. Alcohol's more fun. Jumping
Helps
them
with words, I've heard.
Yeah, exactly. Very much with words, especially on New Year's Eve when you're like,
hello.
And they have them jump in front of them in the table.
Yes.
Finally, League Two. Aki drew Barrow and defeated Salford and currently sit in 9th place.
Okay.
Yeah,
Safe.
You know what?
I'd like him to be a little further up. Get back to League One would be nice. But
Barrow's 6th place is a playoff team right now, so that's a good draw at least.
No, absolutely fair. But as we like to say, since we have some new people checking the show, which also, by the way, we really appreciate and shout you guys out again. With Aki is we kind of consider them the Leyton Orient of the North. Nobody hates them. They're just great. We also have the connection. We if you go through our back catalog, you can find out a fair few actually, interviews that we've done with their now current groundskeeper, who was the groundskeeper at Chorley, made famous by that viral video where he had coffee in his cup, and he maintains it was coffee. We know it was Guinness, Ben.
It had to be a wee bit of the,
Ben K,
dark stuff.
who is a awesome dude and always very generous with his time with us, and has invited us over a few times to get into the ground and
work. The minute I can get over there, I'm working it into making sure that we go to see Aki. That is for damn sure. And also, if we're talking about adopted clubs, Pompey is very much an adopted club
100%.
of ours too. We love good old Portsmouth. But continuing on with the rest of the league, Stockport's lead at the top is now only 2 points as they drew and lost. And their loss was to second place Mansfield Town, which, by the way, they are still sitting on only one fucking loss this season. A shit ton of draws, but only one loss. And Wrexham are in third place, who lost to Wassell, but then beat the hell out of Barrow 4-1. Now, interesting to talk about because speaking of Wassell, they had themselves a fucking couple of days. They beat Wrexham 3-1, and then they beat Grimsby Town 6-1.
that's not bad. 9-2 on aggregate there. That's not terrible for your goal differential.
2 matches in 4 days. Fuck you. We'll score 9 goals.
Yeah.
It doesn't even matter how many we give up. We scored 9. As long as we didn't give up 10, we did well.
Yeah, that's perfect. What a day at the office.
And Tranmere definitely appears to be quite safe now as they are on 33 points and sitting in 15th place. So we were a little worried about them before.
For now, those games come thick and fast.
Dude, Sutton and Forest Green are on 17 and 16 points.
They are very bad.
Like Colchester is one of the newly promoted sides, and they're sitting on 22.
Right.
Like, it's just bad for Forest Green and for Sutton.
Yeah. Do you think it's Duncan's fault? Do you think Duncan Ferguson fucked him up?
No, it's not Duncan's fault. I think
he accidentally put beef broth in one of the meals, and everybody's been sick.
I talked about this with Hiram last week. I think applaud them for having a certain stance, right? That we are going to be a green club. We are going to be a vegan club. Like, these are things we're going to do. But you also have to understand that then some players will go,
I'm not going there.
I won't go there.
I like meat.
Like, when you go home, you could still eat meat. It's not like they're being told they have to be a vegan all the time. But when they're on the grounds and they're on the training grounds, they have to eat, you're normally eating 3 squares a day there.
I heard a funny story about Andy Carroll the other day.
Okay.
Former Newcastle striker. Excuse me. Was there when Steve Bruce was there. Right, for a bit. Under, I can't remember what manager it was, but there was a more professional manager, if you can imagine that, than Steve Bruce, where they would have to stay in hotels the night before games, including home games and everything else, and everything was monitored, and they were fed certain shit, and blah, 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 blah. Under Steve Bruce, the only thing that was mandatory, and they had to get themselves there, was to be there 90 minutes before a home game. So he would turn up at essentially a meat buffet in town and would just have himself a full roast dinner and then go to the full tracksuit, already dressed. Would just show up and have a full roast dinner and then go to the games.
Go to Fogo de Chao and just be like, green the whole time, bitches. Give me all the meat.
Guess who's not ever signing for Forest Green Rovers?
Andy Carroll. No doubt about it.
no
Excellent.
matter how desperate it is.
Oh, that is going
What is this? A salad?
Yeah,
Fuck off.
Fuck off. Broccoli? You can shove that right up your ass.
It was
Get outta here.
essentially would be consistently like Duncan Ferguson's first interview. He just thought he had to eat the turf.
Yeah, that was it. So
Are potatoes vegan? He couldn't get it. He didn't understand it. I'd just like chips.
So that's going to wrap it up, boys and girls. Mr. Graham, any parting words?
Nah, not for this one. We're getting close to the midway point in the EFL for all the leagues, and that is going to be interesting to see where everyone sits, especially as the championship 2nd through 6 kind of condense a little bit with Ipswich's couple of drop points in a row. Leicester, I think, are just running away with it to the point where that's going to be that.
Yeah.
They'll have a bit of a blip, but they've buffered themselves enough. But so get excited, keep an eye. This weekend especially, is coming up on injury time. We've got our FA Cup preview here on the show. It's this weekend is going to show a lot of what these teams are about, I think, because in no other season has the Premier League been so tight from 1st through 6th. And I think everybody's got a chance to miss out on European football if they go on a bad run of form.
Oh, absolutely agree.
So these cups, I think, are going to be fucked off a bit more than normal because of that. And I think you might see some more lower league opposition in the latter stages of the cup competitions.
Well, and remember, whoever wins that cup knocks somebody else out of another tournament. Knocks someone out of Europe, knocks someone out of fucking McRib, which, if we keep talking about how Man U is going to probably finish 7th, God forbid somebody not in the top 6 wins the FA Cup. Suddenly Manchester United ain't in the McRib Cup anymore.
Well, exactly, yeah. So I really like what this is shaping up to be, because I think the Premier League clubs, especially in the FA Cup, are going to treat it as they normally would the Carabao Cup.
Yeah.
And you're going to see a lot of these lower league opposition, these EFL clubs have a chance to really make a wave in the FA Cup again, at least for a bit.
Yep, agreed. All right, everybody. If you're watching us live, stick with us. We're going to go right ahead and do injury time, which is typically where we preview the weekend's action. We also are going to talk about our fantasy sports, because they're fantasy teams, because there was a lot going on there. And we're also going to talk about the beers we've been drinking throughout the show. If you regularly would want to get injury time, Mr. Graham, how does one go about doing that?
It's just patreon.com/DU Football Show. There's one $5 tier that you can sign up to. You get sound check, which is our actual sound check. Sometimes you hear things, sometimes you don't. That's been known to happen. And then injury time, which all the cool things that Sam's just talked about as well. You get that every week. And then there's also a few extras sprinkled in here or there. You get an invite to the Top 20 Whiskey event if you're a Patreon member. If you're local, which is kind of fun, where you get to share cigars and the full Top 20 that we bought and paid for. And you get to partake in all those whiskeys in kind of a potluck style event.
Excellent.
There's a lot of things that go on in addition to just the 2 extra shows a week.
And, of course, for all the flyest DU football gear, go to the DU Drip Shack, which you can find pinned to the top of every single one of our social media posts with our link tree. Until next week, everybody.
Good night.
All right, so you just want to go right into it?
Yes. We are still live right now, right? Graham, real quick. I'll throw to you where I want you to start reading. You've got the notes. Most of it is going to be you talking about the teams.
Heard.
And I'll kind of lead the front end.
You forgot to tell everybody to stop listening to that part.
They could listen to that part. That's the fun part. That's the fun part of being watching the show live. You get to hear all that crazy shit.
We got a couple people still watching. It's almost midnight.
Yep. Yeah, but now we get to talk about the shit we really want to talk about.
Sex.
We so want to talk about this
Drugs.
Fucking and sucking.
And I'm going through the recently hit the public domain recordings on the Library of Congress jukebox.
Nice.
Nice.
Can't wait to hear what hip and happening tunes are in there.
I'm going to see if I can find just a little ditty. So far, everything is so slow. I had hoped Whirly Twirly would have been better. But no. And then if she was 16 when she was 16, I was like, ooh, that could be problematic.
Yep.
But it wasn't as good as I thought it was going to be. So I'm still looking. No, if she was what she was when she was 16.
Oof. Yeah, it's trouble.
I went, no.
That's what I thought about that woman ref. That's better than I'm getting credit for.
Oh, my God.
16 minutes ago, so when you talked about falling asleep during the Brighton match today.
Oh, no.
Sam Graham throwing on his Snuggie and settling down to watch Premier League football
Nice.
from Taylor.
Good
Did
fuck.
you see the one of you two cuddling?
No, I did not.
No. Can we move on?
Nope.
Let's look at this after.
Oh my
It's
God.
almost midnight, as you say. We'd like
love that.
people to keep watching.
Oh, no, they want to. Oh.
They can see it on the closed group. I'm getting a little sweetness.
That was why you're doing your whiskey tasting. I think that's Christian.
I'm getting a little sweetness. Notice who's the man in that meme.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was Christian's handiwork.
By the way, Mel, you got some show titles for us, right?
Yeah.
Nah, I had a girl. All right.
It's probably going to be definitely a Tuesday, though.
Oh, okay. Got it. Definitely a
It's
Tuesday.
Definitely Tuesday.
Definitely Tuesday.
Definitely Tuesday.
Definitely Tuesday. Yeah.
It's definitely.
Yeah, definitely Tuesday. Let's do a show.
Shh.
Mr. Graham, I open this show the same way every year. It is the most wonderful time of the year.
It absolutely is.
It is what we live for, man. The
Christmas,
FA
fuck
Cup.
that shit.
FA Cup third round, baby.
Yes.
It is March Madness on crack.
Oh, yeah.
And
I
as
love it.
And as I always say, David faces Goliath, and David fucking wins.
Mm-hmm.
Let's start the show.
Born in the land of Bowie, Maryland. Bred to be a fan of fucking Everton. Punch you in the eye and drink your rye. Sam Huston.
Sam Huston?
Arsenal fans have another Sam. AKA the fucking Gooner Graham. Snub of my lord. Look straight in shorts. Sam Graham, hey.
Sam Graham.
Fucking United! Fucking United!
Hello and welcome to Injury Time, a completely biased preview of the EPL's upcoming matches. Well, actually, of the third round of the FA Cup, as told by two common American schmucks. I am me. He is he. I guess she controls everybody's uterus today because nobody pays extra for it because it's her motherfucking uterus and she's going to decide how our uteruses work too.
2 out of 3.
Listen,
I
Bobert.
fucked up.
yeah, I was about to say, you fucked up the first one too, woman.
66% of the time, it works 0% of the time.
Jesus.
Hey, 33% of the time. It works 100% of the time.
Listen to her with all her optimism over there.
No. No. Because steal my bit. Do it fucking right.
No, we're married.
Because
It's our bit.
It's the perfect opportunity for you to go.
No, we're married. It's our bit. Mel, 100% of the time, this works 100% of the time. Cut.
It is 33.3% of the time. It works 100% of the time.
I didn't want to
That's
yell
why
out.
Daddy drives the fucking bus.
know
I
what,
didn't want to
Sam?
yell out 66.6.
You are correct.
Hold on.
Nobody heard that because he talked over it.
Isolate that. Put that on my board. I want.
Can't.
Sam, you are correct.
I did it so Graham would talk over it. There's no clean audio.
There'll be clean enough audio. I don't care. He can talk over it. It's fine. I just need muddled audio. It'll be wonderful.
Muddle the audio.
I really don't care.
Like you're making a peppercorn Zijon.
Nope, not that. I was about to make you hit the button. Don't need to hit the button.
No.
Hey, Graham, fantasy. What happened in fantasy?
I lost to Ray. Hashtag Glazers out 33 to Pasta Cordon Glue 28. That is obviously quite unfortunate. Fucking
Yeah, you
eight
sucked this
Spurs.
year.
Yeah, not great. Fucking 8 Spurs took Mings's lady to the fucking moon there, 63-20. Over tripled up Her Highness. That Smokey over Her Highness there. Diamond Dogs. JB's team 54-27. So exactly doubling up to Tofefe's Jim's team. Arteta's hair helmet Firehawk with the most pitiful display of the weekend. Just 13 points, losing out to New Year's same me. Christian's team on 35 points. Reds Are Us, Mark's team, which is pretty good. Beat out Espresso Martinelli, Justin's team, 42-38. Pigeon Power, Geckel's team, didn't have very much power. They only scored 29 versus Brody's Cole Sala, which is not too bad.
Because he figured you don't like coleslaw. He believes you said once.
I hate coleslaw.
Yeah,
it
so
belongs
they
in the
get-
fucking trash.
That's why he called it coleslaw.
Disgusting. And they scored 52 points, by the way. HR's team, better than 12. Russ's team only scored 35, which I guess is better than 12, but not quite as good as 51, which is what Pone cares more than I do scored. That's your team, sir.
Yep.
Well done. And then injury list all starts. Keith's team lost out narrowly. 31-33 to injury list all sharts. Taylor's team, which is pretty fucking good. That leaves your standings looking like this. Brody rises to the top with Cole Sala on 42 points, but so are second and third place. That's Keith and Smokey in second and third, all on 42. It's only point differential, but Brody has a healthy lead. It looks like of about 92 points. 82 points. 82 points. Math is fun.
Yeah.
Diamond Dogs sit in fourth place on 39. Pone cares more than I do in fifth on 36. Hashtag Glazers out in sixth on 33. Reds Are Us up to seventh on 33. New Year, same me, up to eighth on 30 points. Better than 12. Down to ninth, also on 30. Injury list all sharts up to 10th on 30. Up to Tofefe's down to 11th on 30. I remained in 12th on 24 after winning it last season. This is a terrible display for me. Pigeon Power in 13th on 21. Espresso Martinelli in 14th on 18. Mings's Lady in 15th on 15. Almost out of the drop. And Arteta's hair helmet on 15 points as well, rounding out the bottom of the table.
Very good. Mrs. Houston, what we got going on in doo-doo?
We've got some action in the doo-doo league. Laxatives were working and changes are happening. So, first off, Villanista, my team, definitely dominated Nathan Jones for prison. I don't know what you call it when we hit it more than twice, but he only scored 14, and I had a nice 39 points this week. Now, Tup City FC, remember him? Used to be our leader. Oh, he lost again to D's Nuts.
D's Nuts.
Highest score of the week came from future second ex-husband, Mini Cooper FC, who doubled Big H's crew. Mini Coop got 53 points. Poor Big H, 25. Now, sausages are upside down. He had a sizable victory over Baltimoreans FC. And here's where it starts to get interesting. Baines on toast. Timmy O's team, 29 points, which means he lost to Mel's Cool. My bad. I gotta say it correctly. He lost to Mel's Cool. My bad. And then Goon Squad, Kevin, well, he got 35 points. That means Pasta Dijon beat him with 41 points. That's very important in a moment. And the big matchup of the week, SSJ Arsenal Jeet, who's trying to climb back to the top 5, versus Middle River FC. Middle River got him by 2 points. 43-45. So the Doo-Doo League standings, number 1, Middle River FC.
Okay.
Damn.
Dropping down to second, Baines on toast. Popping up to third, though. Softest hands in the business. Pass the Dijon.
Oh, Larzapan. I'd love to see Larzapan in the first division.
Which means he kicked Craig Tupper out of the top 3.
Oh, no shit.
Tup's been sitting there a whole season, and he is on a downward slide. And really, does the rest of the league matter? All the actions in the top 3, as everyone knows.
This thing just happened.
I
I
meant to
stopped
say
at the
top
gas
2.
station to buy some Reese's peanut butter cups. Ended up buying some beer. Moral of the story, I like titties.
We're going to pretend that was the recording, right?
I've had like 3 fucking like little silent gut burps going.
Oh my God. By the way, Taylor says that he and Christian can keep watching because it's only 11 o'clock there.
Oh, very good. Very good.
So it's not bedtime yet? Your wives haven't forced you to go to sleep?
For anybody that's new, catching on Injury Time right now, this is where we do our beer segment. So we drink beer during the show along with the whiskey that we've been drinking. It's very important to note that I am trash and I drink Ice House, and Mel and Graham actually have, good taste in beer. So we let them talk about the craft beer that they were drinking, and then I try to talk about the flavor profile because I
So
know
you're going
nothing.
to let us do that, or you're just going to keep going? Stop with that. That's so nasty.
God, that's gross.
It's so gross.
I didn't mean to. Fuck you. I'm old and fat.
I love how he sounded so defeatist as well.
Okay, Mel, you go first. What do you got? You all gang up on me so much.
I didn't say a thing.
That was me, that one.
Mel?
I am drinking raspberry sorbet double Radler. Now, for those of you that may have heard of a Radler and go, well, what's a Radler? Not to be confused with a shandy. A shandy is specifically beer mixed with either like a Sprite, lemon soda, or lemonade. A Radler can be any juice. And so this
I thought it was always tea. Must have been wrong about that.
Yeah,
any juice.
Any juice. Which could be a tea also. Radler kind of leaves the category open. And so you have a double Radler, then it's doubling down on that flavor. And it's usually a 2 to 1 part combo. And this one, despite that mix, still comes in at 5.5.
Yeah, because typically when you do a Radler or a shandy,
I always thought
they're
it was
like
tea.
2%. They're always
Yeah,
like
they're
much
always
lower. They're
5.5.
2%.
Yeah.
And that's a double, so it's double the ABV.
So are we considering tea is leaf juice now?
I guess.
Coffee is bean juice.
I've never had a tea Radler. I've only had grapefruit and raspberry and blueberry.
So I've only
Radlers.
ever had a tea Radler.
Okay.
Interesting.
Any other juice other than lemon lime?
But if we're going to call coffee bean juice, then yeah.
Yeah, we can call it tea leaf juice.
Can I have some hot leaf juice, please?
I already gave you some.
No, I know.
Oh.
Never mind.
Oh, sorry.
It's very good.
It's quite good.
It's very good.
You get the vanilla from the sorbet. I mean, it's a perfect
It's
description.
got a little bit of creaminess to it as
Does
well.
it come too tart?
Is it lactose sugar or is it
No.
vanilla?
No, nothing.
Well,
Just
it's got to be
sorbet.
one of the two to have sorbet. Because you have to have that creaminess from
There
something.
is no ingredients listed.
It's got to be either lactose sugar or vanilla.
It just says double Radler beer with natural flavors. Government warning: don't drink while cool.
Pregananant?
Whole Hog Brewery, Wisconsin.
I'd like a whole hog. I'm starving.
Yeah, nothing.
I can go for a whole hog right now.
I'm
That'd be pretty fun.
starving. God,
I believe Taylor said beer is wheat juice.
Okay. Yeah, it is. It is. I thought it's barley juice.
fuck. Or rice.
Yeah.
That's sojum.
Soju.
Fuck it.
Mr. Graham, what do you have first?
The first one I had was one of my Burley Oak dreams that I love so much.
Are we sharing?
Yes, you all are sharing. This is the apple raspberry cobbler.
Oh, I can't wait.
It is fucking delicious.
Do you get the buttery? I
You
can't
get
wait.
everything. So
Smells
sour
good.
ale with apple, raspberry, cinnamon, dark brown sugar, vanilla, and lactose. So it's very creamy on the back end.
Oh, and it still gets the sour.
Still gets the cinnamon, and you get the sour. It's all of the good things. 4.8% by volume. Excuse me.
It's
Taste the-
faint, But you
the
can get
crumble
the cobbler. Yeah.
on the top.
It is fucking good, that beer.
That is
really good.
tasty.
And you're not a cinnamon guy.
Wow.
No, but when you put it so I figured out that even
It's
if I
in
don't like
context,
something,
and
as long as you put it like together with other things I like, sometimes I can tolerate it.
Right.
So like if I had that as a dessert, I wouldn't want it.
Right.
Because the cinnamon is too prominent.
Mm-hmm.
In this, it's toned down a bit and it's fine. I can tolerate it.
Is it a cherry, right?
No, raspberry.
Apple raspberry.
Apple raspberry.
Okay, yeah. It's a very tart raspberry. Mm-hmm. Oh, it's good.
It's very good. I was super happy with this. I
you want
saved
more?
it. Punched the fucking microphone too. It's very good. I the excellent beer that. It was very, very fucking well done. And that's Burley Oak in Berlin, Maryland, man. We've had them multiple times on the show because they're so good.
All right, so my next one is a Dust Hill Brewery Wild Sour Series Dragon Fruit Mango. It says, enjoy our sour ale, bursting with tart fruit flavors, aromas of dragon and mango. Delight in this brilliant fuchsia color and vibrant taste that delivers a bold experience with each sip. Cheers. I would not describe what I poured you as fuchsia.
No.
Don't put that on the can if it's not fuchsia, y'all. That's my first. I'm reading that as you could see it in my eyes. Well, no, you can't because, but
All right.
yeah, reading that, I'm going, why would you put the color in there when the beer's not coming out? That bright lambic color. Delight in the brilliant fuchsia color.
You would immediately think of like the lambics that
Of like raspberry.
yeah.
The Germans put out with like Lindemans, those like really
Belgians. Yep.
the Belgian.
Yeah,
I'm
think
sorry.
back to my bridesmaids dresses.
I would think that
I don't remember a lot from that day, to be honest with you.
good sour dragon fruit is typically very sweet. So I got mango, but I really didn't get any dragon fruit.
No.
Like I would have liked that to be really
I think the acid kind of covered a lot of that up, to be honest
really
with you.
all
sweet,
acid.
really sour is what I would have hoped it would have
Yeah.
been. Was really sweet, really sour.
It's,
Yeah.
you're absolutely right. I don't get that sweetness. It's all acid.
I have a feeling, Mel, the other one that I got you from that company will be way better.
I'm going to go grab it from the window.
Okay, very cool. So,
It's in the refrigerator.
Yeah.
Mr. Graham, what is your next one?
So my second beer is from First State Brewing Company, so obviously from Delaware. This is also in collaboration with Little Goat Coffee. But it is their Black Lotus Coffee Stout, 7% by volume, this one. I think it is a perfect fucking coffee stout. I think it's actually better than the Black Flag Glencoe, which I love, and the Affogato from Monument. I think it's better than both of those.
Even before I've tasted it, the flavor just smacked me in the nose.
Really like the Affogato.
How did the aroma taste then?
I don't
If
know.
the flavor smacked you in the nose, how was the aroma?
I'll tell you in a moment.
Oddly enough, it's as you guys already know, but not other people may know, is for me,
A lot of dark
despite
chocolate,
the
that
fact that I
aroma.
like really cheap beer, I really like a big, heavy coffee stout, like
Yeah,
an
you're a big
imperial
Russian
stout.
imperial
Yeah,
guy,
big
yeah.
Russian imperial guy. That is beautiful. I couldn't stop smelling it at first. I wasn't even taking a sip when you were just sitting there talking about it.
Yeah.
Just my nose was in that cup. Great smell.
I like a BBC, a big, bold can of beer. But this one might be too much for me.
I think you and Lindsay need to leave Ashley and Douglas alone, okay? All right. I think you all need to get off it. You're way too excited about this.
We love them together so much.
Mr. Graham, you're going to need to make sure one of those glasses are clean because Mel's going to pour you one more beer. You're getting a bonus beer.
I like a bonus beer.
You want a little ice house in that to wash it out?
I'm good, thank you.
You sure?
Thank you very much.
Because the next sour you're getting is going to be an insane sour.
I haven't even cracked the can yet for the camera. Look at that. It is.
Look at that.
Pickle Rick.
Come on. I love pickles.
Just Still Brewing Company Dill Pickle Sour Beer made with sucker punch pickle brine.
Come on.
Yeah,
Let's do it.
That's what I'm excited about. That's why I thought you might want to have just like a little rinse of a pills to kind of get it.
Nah, I think pickle's going to overpower everything.
Yep. All right.
Fuck yeah, it does.
I think it's going to be just fine the way it is. Thank you.
Oh, that is the pickliest of all pickles.
She must like it. She didn't pour me that much.
I wish it was a little bit more sour, although the sour comes in the back end. But man, that salty brine, that is a
my
sucker
goodness.
punch.
It's delicious.
I don't know that I've ever had a can do more. I mean, a beer do more than it says in the can than this one right here. Okay, It's called Sucker Punch, and that's exactly what it does.
It could be a little more sour if we're talking about it being a sour beer, but that's
pickle
also all
brine
the
flavor is perfect.
Wait, the sour sticks around.
Honestly, I want
very good.
I want to do that as a chaser to a whiskey shot as a pickleback.
Go get
Yeah.
it. Go get it.
Really good.
Go do it.
I mean, we have whiskey right here.
We're gonna do it to that. Okay.
I'm not digging through the cabinet.
Okay, fine.
Grab the Westward. It's right there. You'll see it. The TO bottle. Just grab a bottle. Grab that bottle.
I mean, we're not gonna have this beer in a moment because I'm gonna have it drunk before the segment's over.
I mean, I might actually have to go. Buy that goddamn.
Yeah. I mean,
Six-pack.
why put off a shot for tomorrow that you can do at 12:14 in the morning?
That's my
11:14 Christian time.
wife. My wife fucking encouraging me.
Christian time.
Mr. Graham, do you want a little hit?
No.
Okay.
All right,
Sure
Dave
don't.
Grohl.
Sure don't. I got to drive home.
Pass here.
All right, Dave Grohl. You gotta get the goofy grin. There it is.
Yeah, it fucking works.
Yeah, it's fucking good, man.
Yeah, that is exceptional, man.
I like that.
I did it. You want some?
Motherfucker.
I'm sorry, it's called a shot. You put the whiskey into the glass and you fucking drink it all.
You are such an asshole.
Forgive me for being a fucking professional.
It's got a big chill down my back. Ghost of Sam's past here. When I was 5 and my parents yelled at each other a
Yeah,
lot.
exactly. It is the FA Cup third round, Mr. Graham.
Why would you do that to her? You
Why would she know it's coming? I do it all the fucking time.
I love you.
Why wouldn't she know?
Because you weren't fully inserted.
I didn't know it was there.
All right,
You
go
were in
ahead,
the bed
do
sheets,
your
son.
shot. You're
I'm
fine.
like a good girl. I'm gonna swallow.
Mel,
Yes.
good girl.
Don't make it dirty.
Yeah, please.
Mel,
Don't make it dirty.
Daddy's proud of you.
Get out. I fucking hate that.
Foul.
It's so gross.
That one was directed right at him.
I know.
Terrible.
Yuck.
We're gonna. Can we just kick him off the show? And you and I don't know enough. When you and me and Hiram can't do this without him, we kind of need him, don't we?
I mean, I know more than he does.
yeah, but he does all the driving and organizing.
Yeah, I can't drive, organize, and know everything. That's too much.
All right, carry on. You're still hired.
It is the FA Cup third round, Mr. Graham. For those who do not know about the FA Cup, please explain what it is.
It is the oldest knockout football competition in the world. It started all domestic competitions. It is basically, if you have the buy-in, which I believe is £10,000, you are allowed to play in the FA Cup. It starts in, I believe, the middle of August, maybe late July, with the first preliminary round. And you work your way up into the first round proper, which happens about September, which is when the Football League teams come in.
If I recall correctly, there are 7 leagues below the 4 leagues that are considered, quote, professional.
Yes.
It's like the National League, then there's the National League North, the National League South, which that's considered, quote, the conference. And you have to play your way into the conference. And then from there, everything is broken down into very small regional groups and even smaller regional groups where, like, legitimately it'll be like a city has 6 clubs that play in one league, that if they win that league, they then play in the county league. And then from there, play in the regional league. Like, little by little by little. And it is vast what the overall soccer system is, or football system is, in England.
Yeah, absolutely. There's hundreds of clubs that enter this competition every year, and you don't have to be fully professional, as you say, to enter it. Mm-hmm. Which, if, fortune is on your side and you progress through those preliminary rounds and through the first couple of rounds proper, you end up with the potential in the third round to play one of the big boys.
Yep, absolutely the case. So let's go ahead and start with the Premier versus Premier League club matchups, which has 4, and 2 of them involving our clubs, Mr. Graham. First off, we have Crystal Palace host Everton on Thursday. I probably fancy Palace.
So do I. I think you're going to see Palace make a run at this cup. They've not won a major trophy for a very long time, if at all. I can't exactly remember. I think this is going to be one that they fancy this season, especially with the way Eze and Olise have been playing together. You also have Dean Henderson out the club, along with John Stone. You have 2 good goalkeepers you can rotate and not really miss a beat. And they're both going to need football,
Only thing Everton has going for them, they love to beat fucking Palace. In their building, away from they love to beat Palace. But I also think that they're getting hot at the right time, and their really good talent players are actually back. Friday has 2 matches. First, Brentford will host Wolves, and then Burnley head to Tottenham. I think Wolves easily win because Brentford is just a mess right now.
Yeah, I think so too. I think they're just waiting till the 16th of the month when they get Ivan Toney back.
You mean when they sell him?
No, I don't think they will because of the position they find themselves in. With the injury to Mbeumo in the December that they had, they are not far off the relegation zone.
No, they aren't. Not at all.
I think they can get dragged into a bit of a battle fairly quickly. And I think, 4 to 6 weeks of Ivan Toney being your forward is going to make you completely safe. So I don't know that they will sell him at all. I think they may wait till the summer.
Very fair. And
he's going to want to play well. He'll be chomping at the bit. Not only will he be fresh, but he'll be trying to make the Euro squad.
Now, I know this is at Tottenham. Why do I fancy Burnley?
No Son, number one.
They're going to fuck it right off. You feel like this is the kind of match Tottenham's going to fuck off.
Yeah, they're going to have to rotate because of the festive period, of course.
Yeah.
Burnley probably won't, and they are relatively free-flowing going forward. They've been scoring goals the last few weeks despite the results still being shit. There's every chance. The problem is Burnley are such crap at the back. 20 minutes of Richarlison could undo them.
Yeah, that's fair. Very fair.
Is what I would really worry about.
So a couple of other notable matches, just clubs that are worth talking about. Mel's Villa head to championship side Middlesbrough, who Middlesbrough's been on a bit of a run after having a really bad start. And this was a team that was fancied to win the championship this season. So
yes. They started off shit. I think Michael Carrick is who's in charge there now. They got off to a bit of a slow start based on what they should have been doing, but they've gotten everything together. What I would say is this is a very good chance for them to sustain a bit of a cup run because Villa, being in second place at the moment, have their sights on the league.
They got something else to focus on.
They have something else to worry about. Getting back in the Champions League, maintaining a top 4 spot is much more important as a football club than winning the FA Cup.
Oh, absolutely.
So I don't know that Villa will put out anywhere near a strength squad, let alone a full strength squad.
Yeah, true.
And Middlesbrough could sense the blood in the water and try to take the kids for what they are.
Oh, yeah. Agree.
Not sure what that means. It's not a saying, is it?
I was letting you go with it, man. That's what a good host does, as opposed to point out every time that somebody has an uncontrollable body function.
I just don't want anybody to think I'm a pedophile.
I actually kind of
that's a weird thing to say.
You're killing me.
It's like taking candy from a baby is what I was trying to say, but it sounded very creepy.
Wrexham traveled to Shrewsbury Town, which should be an advancement in the cup for them. Shrewsbury is in a league above them, but Wrexham is playing well, so this is a chance for them to advance. Man U, the final game of the fixtures on Monday is Man U travel to Wigan. You want to talk about a game Man U could fuck off?
It's going to be very interesting, this one.
They could fuck off Wigan. They could really fuck it off against Wigan.
It's going to be very interesting. I for Wrexham, I'd worry because they're on the road. That's what I think
they have a hard time on the road.
They
make mistakes on the road a lot.
I think they also want to go up to League One right away. I don't know that they're going to be paying too much attention to the FA Cup this season since they're already doing well in League Two. It's not like the non-league where they needed the sustained cup run to kind of give them that lift.
Right.
They're already doing very, very well in League Two. So I don't know that I feel like this is at this point more of a distraction for Wrexham. So I might fancy Shrewsbury Town, to be honest. Wigan haven't been playing.
Sam. None of that matters. None of that matters.
Okay.
Saturday morning, early, we open with a Tyne-Wear.
We do. You're absolutely right.
Newcastle travel to Sunderland. Why do we need to waste our time talking about Manchester United and Wigan?
Well, I think Wigan's going to win.
Tyne-fucking-Wear!
Yeah.
A Tyne-Wear, my friend.
I think Wigan's going to win. But this is more exciting than that. You're absolutely right.
There hasn't been a Tyne-Wear since 2016.
Yeah.
That was a 1-1 draw.
Uh-huh.
And short arms and Sunderland, besides that draw, have won the last 6.
Mm-hmm. Every time they play. I remember
single time they play.
Big Sam, Chris Houghton, there's Alan Pardew, a number of relatively decent managers got fucked off in this game, and it was usually within the first 2 or 3 that they were in charge.
And we can say this now. We're working out the details, but Saturday at the Abbey in Mount Washington, which is the home bar for Newcastle and Baltimore, the Baltimore Magpies, or the Toon Army Baltimore, we are going to be hosting a live show.
Yes, and this is a 7:30 kickoff. Isn't
it is. 7:45.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, so an early kickoff, but goddamn,
I'm excited.
I'm just excited as hell for there to be a Tyne-Wear.
Yeah, so if you're around, come to the Abbey because we'll be there.
And
you heard it here first.
And we'll probably be taking a piss. You're going to see if your Sunderland jersey fits. I'm going to.
Oh, it definitely fits. The only one I've had was like a 2XL, and I was 16 when I bought it.
I am definitely wearing my my Everton Pickford jersey, but I think how I'm going to open the show is by
with your arms real tight in.
Nice. That way.
Yeah,
I think that's how I'm going to do it for him.
I'm not going to wear a Sunderland shirt into a Newcastle bar.
Yeah. But
I don't need that Geordie hatred. That's not gonna.
True. So,
I bought the jersey on a whim in like a TJ Maxx.
Mm-hmm.
So I have no affinity for them. But at the time, I was just collecting football shirts. So I own one.
Yeah.
And maybe I will wear it. I just want to make Alan mad.
Just make Alan mad. Oh, they know when we're doing it. We're just having a piss. But we will put details on our social media about everything. Obviously that being a home bar for Newcastle, I want to make sure that they're open and friendly to anybody coming and watching the match with them.
Yeah.
It's like how the Abbey and Fells is with the West Ham guys. The West Ham guys are like, fuck yeah, everybody. We don't care who the hell you are.
Yeah,
show
just
up.
Come in. Yeah.
You're the team playing us. We don't care. Show up, right? So let's go ahead and get into the 4 non-league sides and who they are playing.
I'm sorry. Before we do that, you skipped over a very important game. You didn't talk about Arsenal-Liverpool at all. So before we move into the non-league.
Oh, I did forget to mention that one. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, two of the top four against each other.
Yeah, that are
4 days after they met.
That are going to
6
play.
days after they met, whatever it is.
They're going to play nothing but their kids and do not give one single shit about this.
I think it's going to be the best game of the weekend, to be honest with you.
I like that you can't say that with a serious face.
No, it's going to be pitiful.
Yeah.
It's at the Emirates, so we have every chance to win.
Right. Well, also because Klopp isn't going to start a single normal starter.
It's also a competition that we like.
Yeah. I mean, you've won it
more than anyone else.
Right.
So, I think we're going to win this game. I venture to say we're going to win it 2-0.
There we go.
Shut them out.
All right. I know. Good enough. When you lose, you'll be doing a shot on Tuesday, on Monday.
That's fine. Whatever.
So it's fine. All right, let's go ahead and talk about the non-league sides and who they are playing. We start with Maidstone hosting Stevenage. Mr. Graham, tell us about the Stones.
Well, they have the fortitude and girth to make things happen. Maidstone United Football Club was established in 1992. Same year my brother was born. They played the Gallagher Stadium, which seats 4,200. Which fits 4,200 people. Only 792 of them get to sit down.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is interesting. The original Maidstone was established in 1897 and was in the professional system in what is now League Two, but they were forced out due to bankruptcy. The reorganized club had to start all the way down in the non-conference leagues. Within 10 years, they made it back to the conference and have bounced between the National League and the National League South, where they currently reside. And they are my favorite team in the FA Cup because of a podcast I used to listen to. Their general rival is Gillingham, and I hate Gillingham because I followed the made-up football team in the podcast.
Yep. Very good.
I hate Gillingham for no actual real reason. The Gills, which fucking annoys me, because how could you be Gillingham, but then your nickname is the Gills? Fuck off. It should be the Jills. But that sounds like you're a lady.
That's very.
So they didn't do it.
It's very Lewis Black of you, the way you were doing the
fucking. It's annoying.
Pointing.
Stupid. Gillingham, but the Jills. I don't like it.
All right, so next we are going to talk about.
It's like we're the Gunners, but call us the Juns.
Yeah.
No, dumb.
We are
Stupid.
going.
So Maidstone is my new favorite club in the FA Cup.
Heard.
Well done.
The Stone. We're going to talk about top of the National League, Chesterfield FC, heading to Watford. Mr. Graham, tell us about the Spirits.
Is that what they're called?
Oh, I'm sorry, the Spirettes.
The Spirettes, right?
Spirettes.
Chesterfield FC, established in 1919. They are the SMH, the Samuel Michael Houston Group Stadium. It's not your middle name. No. 10,600, that stadium fits in it. Post-World War II, they have been in League One or lower in 2014 or 15. They lost in the playoffs for League Two. That was during a run of 10 seasons. Like most clubs, their demise came in 2016 as they almost went into administration and fell out of the professional league altogether. Most recently, they lost to Notts County last year in the promotion final. That also saw Wrexham go up.
So before you say that last sentence, that is, if you watch the last 5 minutes of Welcome to Wrexham this season, at the very end, because all they talk about is how Wrexham and Notts County were battling back and forth. The very end, they give a big shout out to Notts for advancing on a penalty over Chesterfield.
Nice.
Yeah, that was Chesterfield's moment on TV.
That's awesome. Mansfield Town are their primary rival. Absolutely.
Reasoning behind that is, hold on one second, I want to make sure. Yes, that is the club. The reasoning behind that, Sam, they're both mining towns.
Oh.
Mansfield Town walked past the strike lines, and Chesterfield did not. And that is the main reason why they are bitter rivals.
Interesting.
is because of the working collar, the working blue collar class, part of them not going over the strike line and the whole other city going over the strike line, which of course affected their livelihoods.
Nice. I thought it was a man-woman thing, honestly.
Yeah. Nope, that's exactly what it was.
Old Chester
I hear you, Old
versus
Chester.
Mansfield. Never mind.
We are on to Eastleigh FC, who traveled to League 2 Newport County. Sam, fill us in on the Spitfires.
Yeah, there's a lot of very similar nicknames. So Eastleigh Football Club, established in 1942. You know what? There's a world war going on. Do we want to go fight? Nah. Let's meet down the pub. Found a football club.
That has a follow-up and why their nickname is what it is.
The Silver Lake Stadium is where they play. 2,700 seated out of 5,192 as a capacity. Eastleigh have always been a non-league side, getting into the National League South in 2005. Then in 2014, they were promoted to the National League and have been there ever since. They are in the Southampton area, and their namesake comes from the Spitfire warplane that was developed in the area. Famous former footballers include Aston Villa's Tyrone Mings. Actually, wow, used to play for them. And their primary rival is the next club we're going to talk about, so a little bit of foreshadowing.
Yeah,
I
Mel,
believe they call it.
when Mings was talking about that he was working at a call center and playing for a non-league side, that would be the non-league side he was playing for.
I bet you he'll be watching that while he's rehabbing.
So I have a question. All the Donald Trumps and other draft dodgers that formed this football club during the middle of the World War decided to nickname the team after
A warplane
a warplane
built in
just
their town.
full circling there. We're not going to go fight. We're meeting in a pub and forming a football club.
Especially in the Southampton area. Southampton, Brighton got bombed a lot.
Yeah.
I'm just surprised they could play with all those bone spurs.
I bet you the original owner of Eastleigh FC had bone spurs.
The final club we're going to talk about is Aldershot Town FC. Graham, tell us about the
Careful. This is going out.
You're supposed to yell everybody, but
I know, but we're very close to the 30 seconds there.
All right.
I don't want to get shut down by the YouTubes. So Aldershot and the Spitfires. Aldershot. The shots.
Yep.
Shots are fired. A lot at that town.
Maybe
Established
everybody.
in 1992. They have a ground that seats 2,000 but fits inside of it 7,000. The original Aldershot town, Aldershot actually, was established in 1926 and was debt-ridden the bulk of their history. Sounds like if I started a football club. And were bankrupt by bankrupt and
In 1992.
they went bankrupt in 1992. That happening plus the origin of the new league system and adding another club to League Two is why Maidstone stayed up. They did manage to get back into professional football for 5 years, but finances got the best of them again, and they had to stop spending, which saw them fall back into the National League 2013, and they have been there ever since. Eastleigh have been their primary rival in the National League since, although their original rivals were Reading, so a little just south of London, I would assume then. So they went bankrupt, but they were allowed to stay a team.
No, they got completely
disbanded, and then
and they had to go all the way down to the lowest leagues of football.
And so this iteration of Aldershot Town was founded in 1992.
And at that
The
point
same
in
year,
time,
so like Portsmouth.
right?
The same year. Mel, sometimes it just slips out, and that one tasted like pickles, and I liked it. Just like Portsmouth, they went out of business and were reformed in the same season.
Yes.
Got it. Okay.
So, but also that season was the exact same season that football completely reorged, made
Correct.
the Premier League, and then did the Championship, League One and League Two. Maidstone would have gone down if it wasn't for the fact that Aldershot went bankrupt got hit with a point deduction, which put them below Maidstone. And they
Sounds
decided
like Maidstone should have been your rivals.
And they were adding another team. And then, ironically, Maidstone completely fell apart with their finances right after him. Right after him, completely fell apart, went down.
Nice.
So, just very interesting. Very, very interesting.
Nice.
So, I liked, when I was doing the research on that, I just kind of had fun with that. It was just like, look at how everything falls into place. And especially the minute I went and started looking up on the teams, they were like, oh, established 1992. I was like, there is no way in hell that team was established in 1992.
Right. We've heard about them loads.
That team did go bankrupt. That's exactly
Absolutely.
what happened.
I always like to mention this time of year. No, you know what? Never mind. I'll save that for a few minutes. Go ahead. Do what you got to do.
I was going to say that's going to wrap it up. Mr. Graham, any parting words?
Yeah, I do have some.
Go for it.
I always like to make mention, especially when we have so many new people listening, of course. And again, just one more last shout out this evening. We really appreciate that.
By the way, Taylor has got us on the big screen.
Oh.
With a glass of something brown.
Nice. Careful.
Data boy.
I always like to make mention of one particular FA Cup fact that not a lot of people know, and I find it quite interesting, and especially since we just found out that there was a football club that was founded in the middle of World War II, right? Some might say the height of World War II.
Yeah, exactly.
In 1942 there, that the longest run of holding the FA Cup, the longest time where the FA Cup was with one club, was one that is near and dear to our hearts, and that was Portsmouth.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason is they won it in 1939, and
then a world war happened.
Then the World War broke out, and the FA Cup was suspended and not played until the war was over. So Pompey held the FA Cup for 6 years, I think it was. Which is the longest consecutive time that anyone has ever held the FA Cup in its illustrious, very long history, because the FA Cup just wasn't played. And I find that to be very interesting.
It's a technicality, but Pompey will fucking take it.
Absolutely.
Longest holders of the cup. Fuck off.
I think it's pretty cool
But like
as
me,
well.
we were being bombed. Don't care. Held the cup.
Held the cup. Yeah.
You know what happened while we were being bombed? Still held the cup.
Absolutely. And I just, it brought it back up for me again because Eastleigh were founded in the middle of World War II. I'll say it again.
Too funny.
It's ridiculous. What are you guys doing? Pick up a fucking gun, mate.
That's how they roll, apparently.
Absolutely absurd.
That's how they survived.
All right.
No, it's not.
All right, so because we are streaming, I cannot do my normal bit.
Uh-huh.
And so I had to go into the public domain.
Oh, okay. Public domain.
Now, there's a lot of stuff I could have done. I did not have to go to the Library of Congress public domain list. I did not have to dig to May 5th, 1924 for this brand new and public domain tune called Hinky Dinky Parlez-Vous.
I like how you still have the crackle of the record.
Yeah.
I like that.
I would like to mention.
It's a 10-inch record.
When you were far across the sea, in the land of wee, when you stroll with sweet Marie.
I mean, when you're doing a show that's being streamed live, you gotta work with what you got. Yeah. I did very much like the fact that Facebook reached out to us to give us a hard time about our theme song.
Song that we own.
That apparently Columbia Records wanted to inquire about, and so I immediately called Adam and just said, hey, look, apparently Columbia Records wants to sign you. He goes, oh, really? Yeah, because they're disputing the fucking music.
They say it would have been more appropriate if it was Hinky Dinky Tenty Parlez-Vous.
You know, at least they wrote this between the World Wars.
As opposed to forming
As
a team.
opposed to during.
During?
Yeah.
I mean, this is they would have been drunk, officially. Because it's Prohibition.
I mean, they were definitely drunk.
Oh,
If they thought
definitely
this
drunk
was good.
unofficially.
Yeah. The beer along the Rhine. Fucking hell.
It's because they're talking about France.
Well, they went prohibition. Fuck this, I'm out.
Whatever happened to Hinky Dinky Parlez-vous?
Well, it's parlez-vous français.
You all are really proud of yourselves, aren't you?
I had nothing to do with this. I'm just cultured, Sam.
Alrighty, kids. Have a great night.
Au revoir.
They say this song makes as much sense as Graham's haircut. I didn't say that.
Sounded like you said that.
They said that.
Don't be mad at both of you. Don't be mad at my hair.
I didn't say it.
Now I also feel like they come in
just
tandem.
reading the chats.
I feel like they come in tandem now too. We have to start referring to them as
It's just they.
Taylor and Christian.
Yeah.
Christian, Christine, Christiana, whatever his name is today.
Do we go with they stain?
They'll love that. Hashtag Starbucks.
Tay Christiana lore.
Sweet.
And we're clear from recording. We're still on live because they put in Chris lore.
Chris lore.
That's pretty
Chris
good.
lore.
That's pretty good.
Oh my God. All right. Hold
Oh,
on.
have a great night, everybody.
Good
We want
night.
to go to bed.
We'll see y'all. Yeah, no shit.
Tell them, say goodnight, Sam.
Good night, Sam.